Here from the party box on this, what's today, Monday? Beautiful Monday morning.
It's Monday morning. That's where we're live at 7 a.m. from 7 to 9. Let's get it. Let's go.
There you go. Back on our regular schedule. It's been a long weekend.
And it only gets better.
And it feels good to be...
the Tigers play tonight.
Feels good to be back.
6 o'clock.
Live.
Home team.
On the Tingle & Co. Yes.
Finally.
LSU's the home team tonight. No longer the away team. Weston, is that an RV? Yes, it is. This is the party box. The original party box at the original party box on social media. Make sure you give them a follow. But, like Lloyd said, LSU baseball tonight, 6 p.m. Tigers versus Bruins after LSU handled business on Saturday night against Arkansas, and UCLA took down Murray State in the day game on Saturday as well. I want to start off with saying Happy Father's Day to our dads, all the dads out there. We got a dad next to us.
Yeah, we got a dad here. He just called his son.
He did. What a good father.
And he said, "Don't be like the boy I'm about to show you on the screen."
And then
you make something of your life, son.
Or
else you'll be doing a podcast down by the river in a van.
I mean, technically, an RV down by the river.
If you could get RV money, I should highly suggest it.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's nice. Yeah, we all not sleeping nearly as close as I thought we would together. Christian keeps falling into like the best sleeping spot.
No, it's small. You can't. Other people can't sleep there. Only small people can.
That's what we said. We're gonna throw you in one of these compartments, and you found
and you
one.
chose
Overhead
to sleep
bed.
next to Noah. You were more than welcome to stay in your spot, but you cuddled up right next to Noah.
It was team
sharing
bonding.
blankets.
I'm a blanket merchant.
I fell asleep with just my blanket. Before I went to sleep, I said,
only blankets.
Lloyd tried to get underneath my blanket. I said, no, go get your own.
Get out of here, you rat.
I wake up in the middle of the night, he's under my blanket. It's unbelievable.
Blanket merchant.
It's unbelievable. I wanted to get, mad.
You can't. I'm too cute.
You're like,
That's not what it was. But, Weston...
What do you mean that's not what it was?
Dude, that's not what... Weston said dude is 110 pounds.
plus 15.
Plus 15.
125, watch out. He's not even 2 plates.
That's unbelievable. That's awesome. That's impressive.
Thank you.
Tell you what, you as Lloyd, you're stronger.
Stronger than he looks.
Stronger than he looks, huh?
I've been 125 for a long time.
They got after it the first day. Where they just started fighting.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. Lloyd was impressed, I think,
saw
with
my
Christians.
scar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, that's a lick.
Nice.
Yep.
Now you have
There
something
you
to
go.
remember this trip by.
Something to remember.
If it's not an LSU 2-0 journey as they take on UCLA
6
tonight,
p.m.
Anthony Eyanson against the hometown.
Against, what was it, Landon Stump?
Landon Stump.
Is the arm for UCLA on the bump tonight. But it's Anthony Eyanson and virtually every other pitcher on LSU's staff available.
Before we get into the two clubs, we'll talk about this later. But masterclass, we talked about a little bit in the post game. If you wanted to have a checklist of how Game 1 should have gone, I think Jay Johnson executed that list to a T. In terms of how you want to utilize the bullpen, how you want to put people in certain spots, I think that was something that he absolutely looked up and goes, yes, this is how the plan is supposed to go. Rarely does it work in baseball, but you saw one work whenever LSU was in Game 1 against Arkansas, who also had a plan, as you saw Root get taken out. But Uprooted.
Nice.
Did you tweet that yet?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't
No.
tweet that. It's too corny to tweet.
You're corny
Kept
on
that
Twitter.
one in the archives.
It would have played a bit on brand. But after that, I can't wait to get into the lineup and what they're going to do because we'll be wrong.
Yeah, we definitely will be. We were right on the Josh Pearson leadoff, though.
They'll love
we got that part
I
right.
would be interested to see what they do with him again.
Yeah. No, Landon Stump's a righty? Let's see. Let's see who Landon...
We've been doing our research and watching diligently.
We have been. We're very
Watched
much
nothing
in-depth.
but UCLA
Yep,
last
right-hander.
night.
Landon Stump, right-hander.
Got a great, like the numbers are good.
4.54 ERA, 73 innings pitched, 73 in the third.
A lot of
62
walks.
strikeouts, 37 walks.
That's
he's
probably
got...
more people than they've brought here.
You think?
37 walks? I don't think 37 people walked here from UCLA.
I don't think 37 people drove here.
I don't think they have 37 Jello shots on the board.
They might not.
Not from UCLA, but families for sure.
Shout out Will Helmers.
Yeah, all the Jello shots. But yeah, it was a lot of red last game, but kind of to your point, I think the crowd will look a little different tonight.
It is going to be
A C. of purple and gold.
Entrenched in purple and gold.
Yeah, it's not going to be as competitive because, I mean, Saturday night, I think we can all agree that Arkansas had the largest contingency in the
It'll be purple and gold as long as the Eyanson can see. Does that work? There's something there.
That was close.
Yeah.
I can see where you're trying to go with it.
Yep. Yeah, whatever.
But it's all right.
Strike 3.
LSU pitcher Cade Woods entered the transfer portal. How many is that now? Well, we got Costello, Priester, Paul.
3, 4.
Hogg.
Mick Paul might just stay.
No, he's going to leave.
In Omaha.
Yeah, maybe. Cade Woods.
Yep.
If I'm missing any, let me know, but that's at least
Jabba
5.
Rocco's.
Priester?
I've had him.
Yep.
Said him. In other news, football news, Lamar Brown canceled his visit to LSU this weekend. The U-High standout
Both ways.
He's the #1 athlete in the country on 1-3 and plays offensive line and defensive line. Had a visit lined up to go to LSU this weekend and has canceled it, which obviously is not ideal for the Tigers, as Lamar Brown would be a huge commitment on both sides of the ball, obviously. I think they're recruiting him more as a defensive lineman than as an offensive lineman.
And you're starting to see the shakeup with the new defensive line coach. Like, you're starting to see him kind of identify the people he wants on his defensive line. Different build, different stock, different type. And we'll see how this shakes out. But I do feel like Lamar Brown is somebody that LSU would absolutely – it will feel like a miss if he doesn't commit to LSU.
But it's also one of those tales
to the
as
finish
old as
line.
time.
Exactly, to the finish line.
Not just that, U-High and LSU.
Yeah.
Like, LSU's never had the best odds when it comes to a guy that's always been on campus. I mean, the Alsbury brothers, think back to
Moses.
I mean, you got Keelan, but Dylan weren't able to get that done. Christian Harris.
Dylan.
Go down the list. You haven't always done fared the
and
best.
I get it, dude. If you grow up on campus
and
live here, like, you want to go see some different things, cool. Yeah. But the transfer portal is also a real thing, so go for a year and come on back.
In positive news for LSU football, LSU commit Dylan Purder has shut down his recruitment and is locked in with Brian Kelly and the Tigers, per Zach Nagy. The quote from Purder: LSU is where greatness is made, and that's where I want to be. He is the #1 rated safety in Alabama and is all in on what the program is building in Baton Rouge. So there is some positive news for LSU football. And then into the two claps segments this morning. Start off with Cade Anderson. Not for his performance, just because he continues to talk to Christian, which is
unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah, Christian has proved his worth, whether it's somehow he's done more than content. Yeah, your friendships and relationships, nepotism,
and videoing backwards.
Yeah, he's done two things.
He walked backwards in video.
Two greatest things I've ever done, huh?
And then you got
in trouble with Bill Frankes. Is basically what happened. It's like, once y'all busted up some family and friends section.
Y'all gotta clear out.
He's about to pitch.
It was unbelievable.
That guy.
And then shout out Cade Anderson yesterday at practice. He goes, I'm done. He's like, he goes, I'll just get the best seat in the house, me and Guidry.
Christian was like, what do you have to do today? He was like, I did a workout. I jogged around the field for 30 minutes.
And now I have to fight for the aux
cord. I'm going to go to the zoo. That's
about it.
He was chilling. But in other notes, his performance on Saturday, beyond impressive. 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. 1 earned run?
Just the one solo shot. And Arkansas fans, I was
3
in that
hits.
After I got kicked out the seats. I was in that contingency for a little bit. Fight broke out. Weird energy from the Hogs, but that one solo shot, they were like, "Oh, this is how it happens." It's the bottom of the lineup. Homer, he's terrible off lefties. Hits a homer. I was like, I don't want to interject into y'all's like little fantasy that you all have playing out in your head, but Cade Anderson does that all the time. Solo shots aren't really that big a deal to him.
Solo shots aren't gonna kill you.
And he's not coming out the game anytime soon.
Nah, he rolled on through, got him to the 8th inning, went out there for the start of the top of the 8th, single. Here comes Chase Shores.
Here comes the ovation.
The ovation, followed by Chase Shores. Case and Evans closed it out. 2 claps for Cade Anderson. Ready. Bear Jones.
Bear.
Rough night on Saturday. He was 0 for 5, but he did not let the offensive struggles affect his defense.
At all.
Countless plays at first base. Did his job. What was your quote the other night?
Put it in the bucket.
Put it in the bucket.
Or I don't give a shit. Which one? Put it in the bucket?
Both.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, you need to put something in the bucket. You need to be, commit something to the victory.
Be a part of whether it's defense, offense, dugout, whatever it needs to be. Put something in the bucket and help your team get to a dub. And that's what this team has done all year. Not only Bear Jones, Ashton Larson, whoever it may be, Jake Brown, Pearson, other Pearson, McPaul, like whatever it is, everything is towards now you're just putting something in the bucket till it fills up to get a championship. And then you can reassess after. But you're all bought into what the goal is, and you're here.
And they are.
You're 1-0, and now the vision is clear. And I think that the whole team is aligned in what they're trying to do. Ain't no bit nickels.
No bit nickels. Shout out to Bear Jones. And practice yesterday, he hit with the team in the normal practice. And then as everyone else loaded the bus, him and Coach Johnson stayed after.
What a great session.
He got some more cuts in. Then he got to sit and chat with Coach Johnson.
He was talking about the expansion of the zone. Just shrink it, dude. Look for one thing. Like, you don't have to try to do too much. And we've talked about this all year as we get through the two claps. But real quick, we've talked about this all year. If Bear Jones can just take a second, look back, and go, 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts, who gives a shit?
Still won.
But, yeah, you won. And so you did something that helped the team win with your defense. You're still a mainstay in the lineup, and it's somebody that they have to pitch to and constantly look at and be terrified of. You're getting their best stuff every time you step into the box. And that's something that exerts extra effort, makes the team look, do we have to make a switch? It does all of the things that sets the rest of the lineup up. So you're impacting the game, whether you go 0 for 5 or 5 for 5. And with that said,
you don't need him to go 5
You don't
for 5.
have to. Like, so the pressure's off of him, really. Like, that's what I continue to tell him. Like, I talked to him yesterday. He was not worried at all. He was like, dude.
Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you put something in the bucket for baseball. Like, you did your thing defensively. He's like, thank you, I appreciate it, of course. And then he was back in the cages. Like, He's going to be fine because it's not like the first time that Bear Jones has ever been through a struggle. He struggled at the
first time
before.
this season.
Right. And so he's going to be fine. And it's just a matter of that you're still a mainstay in the lineup. He's not coming out the lineup. He has nothing to worry about.
He's one of 4 Tigers to start every single game this season.
Yeah.
Only 4 guys have been in the lineup and on the field every game this season. Christian, can you name those 4?
Dickinson, Milam,
No.
Stanfield.
Yeah.
Nope. Not Stanfield.
Oh, I guess early.
It wasn't Stanfield?
No.
I thought, okay. Curiel had an off day.
It is Curiel.
Curiel, Dickinson, Milam, Jones.
Yep.
I thought Curiel had a weekday where...
From what I saw, it was Stanfield.
Where'd you see
62 of 63 on that sheet. Wherever I have my note sheet, I think I threw it away. But yeah, he was one of 4 that's been in the lineup every single game and started every single game for LSU. And you just got to stick with Bear. Got out there, got the work in, ready to keep on rolling this week for LSU. 2 claps, ready.
I wasn't ready. See, last time I lined up. I was cocked for like a minute.
Oh!
And then I did it, and it was on time. So I need to
for a minute.
I need to get ready. I need to sit at the free throw line and have my routine done already before I get up there because I won't be ready.
There you go. Next up, LSU fans in Rocco's. Impressive. They were on still are on a roll ahead of their.
Oh, today is going to be the day.
Yes, and they're already ahead of where they were in.
The pace has been set.
2023.
You're trying to run the fastest mile of all time.
That's true.
People say you can't sprint marathons. We're about to find out.
Rocco's is going to do pretty well this evening.
You have to pop the bottom to get
How are
it
the
down.
Jello shots tasting?
Delicious. They're better. Well,
I don't drink. Christian didn't get in. You are only.
I'm the only taste tester.
Yeah.
I'm like a. What are the people that taste wine for a living? A sommelier of Jello shots at this point. Yes, my body.
Middle-aged moms.
Yeah, divorcees. Christian's trying to find him a lot lizard.
Yeah, we've been strolling around the RV lot.
Just looking.
Lurking.
Hunting.
Scouting prospects.
There you
Recruiting.
go.
Sir, do you need where are your parents? Son?
I'm a grown man.
Sir, I'm actually 19 and I'm currently searching for a lot lizard. Do you think you can help me out?
Lot lizard, 2 for a lot lizard.
You'd be like, son, what did you say?
Could you recommend me or show me to any good lot lizards?
Yeah, there's one back there. I just left.
Oh, that RV's too nice for her.
But back to baseball. Yeah, LSU fans deserve 2 claps for their effort in Rocco's. 2 claps. Ready.
Still late. I don't know when you're going to do it. How do you get it every time? I can't time
I got a rhythm, son.
Gosh.
Uber drivers.
Ready.
We've been Ubering around town to and from the Chuck, to and from Rocco's, to and from practice. After the game Saturday night,
We had one sad Uber driver
we had
that had some
electric Uber driver.
deep-seated issues.
He was struggling.
Yeah, he needs that. If you need therapy, go to therapy. This man needed therapy. He's like, my dad beat the shit out of me, and I can't tell anybody about it. It's like, oh
He
my.
was talking about how being a dad was the hardest job of his life. He was like, well, it was easier for my dad because he just beat me up.
I had whoops all over. I was like, buddy,
Wow.
just get me to my destination.
Yeah, please bring me back to the RV.
But I got him loosen up a little bit.
You did. You
I was like,
handled
you
that
can
well.
just like quit this job right now. He's like, I'm going home. It's like, it's Father's Day. Go
You
put
handled
your feet
that
up.
one well. Me and Christian were completely silent. Didn't say a word. That was all you. You did a great job.
That y'all keep putting me in the front seat. What do you think's gonna happen?
Well, what also made it weird is we couldn't even hear him. He was talking so low.
He was talking to me.
Yeah.
It was just y'all.
That was he should have paid me for that ride.
Yeah. That was good.
Put it on the card.
But the night before, on the way from the Arkansas game back to here, we had an electric Uber driver, our Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Donald?
Dodge Dart.
The dart.
Absolutely
He
electric.
probably ran 4 stop signs.
It was the scariest.
Get out
stuff
the
in my
way.
life. He was like, I'm just going to go. Like, okay.
He also put me in the front seat again.
We
That's
did.
it. Couldn't have egged on somebody more.
Yeah,
He was awesome.
He
I
was
don't
a character.
We need to find him again to get a ride tonight.
Yes.
Like, go back in the history, the annals of time.
And then we had, on the way to
Get out the way!
Coastal versus Oregon State last night, me and Christian had a Hispanic gentleman that did not know habla inglés.
No.
And Christian handled it like a pro. Started spitting Spanish back to him. He asked him, "Do you drive a lot?" And the guy was like, "Go no sé." Christian was like, "Drive mucho."
It worked.
And the guy was like,
"Sí, mucho."
Jay Nada.
And then he said,
I didn't pull that out.
He
Damn
did
it.
use that. Like then he kept Christian kept like wanting to ask him questions. Keep talking. To
That's
him.
where we
my
needed
best.
Jonathan,
And it was
who
all-
is
yes.
somehow like knows way too much Spanish for his own
That's
good,
impressive.
as he's finding out on the beach.
Yes, yeah. He is finding out. But the Uber drivers have been excellent. Then me and Christian yesterday on the way back had a guy from South Sudan as our driver. Nicest guy ever. We're driving. He was talking very quiet and like just minute voice, like just quiet. And then we drive past Hooters. He goes, "Oh, Hooters!"
Yeah, I bet you fat American pigs love this.
He was like, "I used to love that place in high school." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "We can stop there right
Come
now."
on, it's gonna lark.
He was like, "My guardians didn't like it though." We were like, neither did my parents, but
Oh, that's the ultimate. Chris, you could attest to this. The ultimate travel ball stop. Get a win.
Hooters
Oh,
right after.
the dads are taking you to Hooters, and they go, "Don't let this get to your head, boys. Got to keep winning to come back to Hooters."
It was fun. Our driver loved
Shout out Wesley Graylep's dad. Where are the kids? I think you done took them to Hooters again.
We told him that we
No
need to
swimming!
get him again as a driver, and we're going to stop at Hooters
Yes.
next time. Because I want to see, Christian's never been to Hooters.
I've never been.
That's
ever in his
pretty good.
life.
Well, Lizard.
Oh!
It's gotten to the point where
He's got
it's
a
like
trash bag like Tommy Boy. It's his clothes.
Yep. Walking back from the shower.
Yeah, Shaq.
What were you about to say, Christian?
Never been to Hooters?
it's gotten to the point where I don't even know if I would want to go on my own accord. I think it's a cool thing when you're like 12, 13.
Oh, no. Well, if you're actually
But
act
now you
like,
can,
if you
like,
act like
actually-
a pervert at your age, yeah, it is
Yeah.
weird. But if you're just a normal human being,
Just enjoy some
you
wings.
can actually like see Hooters because you're old
On
enough.
the internet?
You know what I mean? Like it's, I'm already satisfied. I don't need to go to
You
Hooters.
just go
to
for the
see some-
wings, dude. The wings are good.
Okay, well,
They are good.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't think
even
of
messing
wings
with
when
you.
I think of Hooters.
Of course not.
I believe it,
But the wings are good.
yeah, I think you're too old to go and order milk.
I think I'd rather go to B-Dubs. Does Hooters have UFC fights
Oh, they just have real fights
Actual fights at the bar.
between the girls?
between the exes.
See, here he is.
Yeah.
Sicko.
Dude,
Sicko.
that would be
Between the
electric.
chicks. The
Get your
servers
two hottest
fight?
ones
In
line
those,
them up,
in
and
those
then-
uniforms?
No wonder you don't go to Hooters, you sicko. Uber drivers
Two
deserve two
claps.
claps. Ready.
I'm trying to reply to Cheddar Goblin in the chat. Damn it.
I want
Cheddar
to
Goblin?
I want to rewatch that one because you completely freaked out when you realized we were clapping. Watch him.
Hey,
Just
I
watch
see
him.
a little bit of oh god, I see a little conjecture about Jeff Head. Not bad behind the plate. I thought he gave Kate Anderson a little bit on each side. It was good.
I couldn't really tell from the press box. We were right behind the plate, so I couldn't see exactly where. But I didn't see anything that was too crazy. But I did see on Twitter people weren't happy with him. So
Oh,
Absolute crumble. But I saw on
bad.
Twitter people weren't too happy with him, but I couldn't really.
Caterson would have had 7 strikeouts, 7 innings.
Yep.
I'll take it.
That works for me. Top Spin 2K25 deserves 2
Spin.
claps.
Buddy,
Okay.
Jordan, Top Spin. Duels.
Hell of a comeback the other
Yep,
day.
that we had a hell of a comeback. We're trying to figure out the game. We're getting better at it. We go on runs that are unbelievable of giving up, 40 straight points, however they do, 15, 30, 40 love. Unbelievable. And then we just make an epic comeback. And I don't know if it's the AI or what it is, but great team building on the bus. If you don't fight each other when you're on doubles in tennis, probably pretty good friends.
There
We
you
got
go.
some pretty good chemistry over on the bus at the party box.
There you go. But yeah, no, if you don't know what Top Spin 2K25 is,
It's
it
tennis.
is the tennis video game. We started out with MLB The Show. There was some NCAA mixed in, and then y'all found Top Spin. And it is
Go
addicting.
to bed!
It is addicting. Yo, what time did y'all?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Fair enough.
I'm prescribed.
And so shout out to Top Spin 2K25. I'm sure tomorrow on the ride back home, there'll be some napping, but there'll also be some
Top spinning.
Xboxing.
Yeah.
Some top spinning.
Wait, when you put out the Xbox, they go, we should have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah. It was just in the bag on the way. They didn't have it out.
I was waiting to pull it out, and then I whipped
Whoa.
it out
There you go.
and put in some top spin.
Top Spin 2K25. 2 claps. Ready. There you go, Christian. That was
Oh, we got to, yeah.
Great timing for the next one. Party Box and Tommy G
Yes.
deserve 2 claps. Shout out to the Party Box for 1, bringing us up here. 2, allowing us to overtake the RV to do our show here this morning. And
Yeah, there was a quick call as they were at the game, and I was like, boys, do you think it's okay if we set up super early in the morning? They're like, Jordan's been up at 4 a.m. every day, so it doesn't matter to him. He just had to fold up the bed, almost left Christian. We should have put him in the fold-out and
That
left him in
would've
the
been
couch.
good,
Yeah, that would
I
be
could have
funny.
fit too.
Yeah, and you can still have a little microphone down there.
you'd
You
be,
want to do it real quick?
Hey guys.
Oh, gosh.
but yeah, shout out to the Party Box for taking care of us and allowing us to go live here. Shout out to Tommy G, like we said. You see the logos at the bottom. Wardo's and Gomart. Great stops on the way up here.
Great stops.
As we stopped after about an hour of driving, stopped in Natchez, Mississippi. Checked out
On the
Natchez
bluff.
Oh.
What? Why are you crumbling? Oh. Don't do it again.
And we stopped by Gomart, got some drinks, got some snacks. Then we swung by Wardo's and crushed Po' Boys.
Crushed.
Like
French fries.
crushed.
Dude, French fries
Fries
sneaky
were
good.
good. The burger looked excellent when we saw it come out
Dude,
on a
yeah,
plate.
as much as they want to, dude, Po' Boys were excellent. There's they got that flat top thing
Yeah, working.
on 10. And
So-
the burger came out, I was like, oh, no, it's
Looked
too late to
excellent.
put in another
Yeah, I
order.
The Party Box and Tommy
And
G.
milkshakes.
2 claps. Ready.
Christian,
Quentin Vergence, our friend. Y'all's friend. Now
up.
our friend. Everyone's
Yes.
friend. The show's friend.
had to use his car to jumpstart the party
Yes,
box.
I had to get the box back rocking.
And then
Also,
take
let
his
us-
wife's car, well, Quentin's car, but had to take the car to go get some hydraulic fluid. Like, hey, I know we're still here. Can we take your car too?
After we crashed in the front yard,
Yep.
pulled the party box up to the front yard,
Hey,
spent the night,
walked
enemy
around the
territory,
neighborhood.
took a stroll around the neighborhood, did a video while the party box was getting revived, back alive.
Jacks up.
So to our guy Quentin Vergence, 2 claps, ready.
There we
Last
go.
but not least, 2 claps for YouTube and for our guy Jonathan.
Yes.
If you don't know, all of our
He
astute
still
listeners
doesn't know.
and our people that tune in every single day, you know, on Wednesday we had a whirlwind of a show last Wednesday where it was just completely off the track from the jump. We started late. We were off track.
I forgot the key.
Lloyd locked us out. Started late. We were off track the whole way. Jonathan absolutely crumbles in his shock interview. Asked him 3 questions, and it was
Don't
just
do it live.
unbelievable. I'm driving back home from the show. I get the notification that it's been wiped from YouTube because of Jonathan's Nerf gun. And so then I peeled it, of course, because like you can see the orange tip. Like it's obviously a Nerf gun. It's red and it's got an orange tip on it. It's not a
Just not a gun.
actual firearm. And appeal got denied. We get back the next morning.
We spent that
the
entire
show.
morning trying to figure out what was going to happen.
Yes.
Instead of doing a show, we were like, how much research can we do on copyright domains and how?
Well,
and
that's what I'm about to get to. The next morning, we get back to the studio to do the show before we leave for Omaha on Thursday morning, and we fire up the the laptop. No live streaming. It was like, you are not allowed to live stream. Live streaming not allowed, whatever. And so then we had a mini freak out because it's like, oh no. We started. Well, you could have freaked out a little bit more than you did. We look at it. It says 90 days, can't go live. And we're like, that's not good. And it says 7 days.
90 days.
Well, first 90, then it said 7. And so then we were like, we're not going to be able to go live the entire time we're in Omaha.
Yeah,
like,
we're just not going to tell anybody.
It's just, so then we were like, oh, no show this morning. We're just getting ready for Omaha. It's not a problem.
Sorry, Tommy.
So Jonathan got the YouTube taken down.
And then,
but then we
skirts
found
off
out
to the beach.
On Thursday, we just double-checked again.
Live.
And we were back. It was back. It was fixed. Problem solved. A little bit of a freak out. It was the worst timing ever for the live streaming to be taken away, because then there would have been no post-game. I don't even know if we would have been able to do the watch party when we get back. Everything was just like, okay.
The plan was shot.
This is terrible timing. The worst timing in the world.
And the recorded we would have had to record it. It would have been.
It would all had to be recorded.
It would have been way
which
worse.
Wouldn't have been as good.
Then we don't have the chat.
We don't have the chat, and it's just, this is who we are. We are a live program.
There's a vibe to the live aspect.
Yes, I agree. And so it threw everything off. But the problem was solved. Jonathan will be publicly shamed when we return on the stream. He has no idea.
No.
We never told Jonathan that. He knows that the YouTube video, the live, got taken down on Wednesday.
Oh, he was in an absolute just seventh circle of hell whenever I got back to the crib, and he was just like, that wasn't good, was it? That was terrible. I was like, no, I came in with bells on. I was like, that's the best shit we've ever done. And he's like, no, I hated it. I'm never doing this again. I'm going to the beach. And then he is at the beach, and now he's taking it out on, I guess, flirty ways.
Yes.
Has a Cambodian wife.
Everyone handles things differently.
Yeah.
But he has no idea he got the YouTube channel taken down.
Oh, you're not on this part in Entourage, but there's a part where Vince just goes to the beach.
Nice.
In season 2. And it just can't find him.
I'll let you know whenever I get to that point.
It's a good one. They go fly and get him.
But, Jonathan has no idea, so he'll find out when we go back live with him later this week when we return. But YouTube deserves 2 claps for saving the trip.
A fair and righteous judge.
Yeah, just a little one day punishment. You got the point across.
Yeah, we won't do it again.
It won't happen again. So 2 claps, ready. That's it. That's all the 2 claps in the headlines for this morning. Like we said, LSU tonight, 6 p.m. versus UCLA. Anthony Eyanson versus Landon Stump. I asked you before the show, Lloyd, when is the last time that LSU played UCLA on the Diamond?
Was it 2013?
2013. The opening round of the College World Series, the Bruins posted a 2-1 victory over the Tigers.
Ugh.
Prior to that,
Ew.
UCLA defeated LSU 6-3 in the second round of the 2010 NCAA Los Angeles Regional. And then prior to that, LSU had swept 2 games from the Bruins in 2000 Super Regional in the original Alec Box. And in 1988, LSU won 7-1 over UCLA in the Busch Challenge at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. So LSU started off 2-0 against UCLA, or 3-0 against UCLA. And then the Bruins have taken the last 2 from LSU, the last 2 times they've faced off in
time to get a look
baseball.
back.
So it's time. It's time. As the Tigers versus the Bruins will happen tonight. Your thoughts, just a little bit of your thoughts from Monday night. Overarching.
Of LSU?
Yes.
Like I said, stuck to the script, had a game plan, stuck to it, worked. And I know there was a lot of eyeballs going to the bullpen a ton whenever you saw Eyanson starting to get loose a little bit. And we had that conversation before the show, like before the game.
Yep.
Whenever we were like, hey.
At Inside LSU Baseball.
Yeah, 2 claps real quick. 2 claps ready. But
that was not me. That was Lloyd.
Yeah, I'm all over it. But to have that kind of, just that conjecture, that thought of, do you think that they'll go to Eyanson, and if you want to start off 1-0, because there's 2 schools of thought, right? There's everybody was saying, do whatever it takes to win game 1, and then it was like Anthony Eyanson. It's like, well, not everything it takes to win game 1, but you saw him getting loose, and then it became, nope, bring in Shores, and then bring in my guy, Kason Evans, and they both immediately, well, I will say Shores' first pitch probably should. Let's just go this one.
That's all right.
Number one.
He shook back.
Yeah, one wild pitch, and then he settled in, and I mean, absolute electricity in that atmosphere. I could imagine that probably pulse was a little high.
Yes.
But you see how it worked out for LSU to get Chase Shores and keep him on a pitch count, to get to Case Evans, keep him on a pitch count, and it really was Kate Anderson that allowed all of that to happen. There was a post-game interview with Case Evans that was like, this was Cade's day. Like, none of this works if he doesn't go
Right.
essentially at, full 7?
Seven innings.
And allow us to be able to work and do our deal to be able to get the next, 6 outs?
Yeah.
And that's what they were able to do with Chase Shores. Case Evans both are fresh and available today.
10 pitches for Shores, 13 for Evans.
That's as efficient as you can be. And now you have a fresh Anthony Eyanson, who, California kid, probably has some family around. But this is what LSU's built to do when you have 2 aces with Kate Anderson and Anthony Eyanson. And now it's like this is how it's set up to win.
Yeah. No, I mean,
And
this is the
lineup showed up just enough. You see, LSU does this thing offensively where it's like put up like a little bit of a crooked number and then it goes stagnant for a while. But the LSU defense, the LSU pitching, will keep the zeros rolling on both sides. Where it just feels like that game went by so fast, and you looked up, you're in the 7th, and it's okay, one more run, and you get the big hit from Stephen Milam, and then it starts rolling again. You just get one more, just scratch one across, and that's what that offense does. It puts pressure on you. The bunt from Daniel Dickinson, like,
excellent.
You can feel like Omaha kind of breathing on your neck a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and you saw that happen to Arkansas.
No,
when
that second inning.
Yeah, they pulled root, but then it became walk, hit by pitch, and it was like, oh, they're on top of you. And that's a shout out to the LSU fan base because you were outnumbered in there, but you were louder.
Yeah, I mean, the second inning, it starts off with a Milam strikeout, then Hernandez 4-pitch walk. Carrillo goes down 0-2. Battles back, gets walked. Dickinson with that bunt gets the bases loaded, and the pressure was, you could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Stanfield steps up, who has been Mr. Consistency.
Crazy.
Continues to find a way to be effective at the plate.
Shout out Jay Johnson. Once again, like the portal merchant.
Yes.
Finds another guy that was, a 260 hitter?
Yeah.
At Auburn. Comes to LSU, and he's hitting over 300 and has performed in every game.
Started in every game except for one.
And
like
he needed a break.
When you saw him come in out of the transfer portal, you were like, okay, batting numbers are not all that impressive. He's going to be a great defender, defensive guy, and he's been an everyday guy for you.
And maybe your leadoff guy.
And he's been a mainstay in the lineup.
He's been awesome.
And you see him get that RBI single. Braswell gets the bunt back.
Gets
hit by pitch.
Another
that
run.
Scores another run. And then Josh Pearson reaches on a fielder's choice.
And shout out Josh Pearson, hustled down the line. That could have been an inning-ending double play.
And sets another run.
Yep. And that's how LSU's built. Like, there's that pressure that they put on you. They step on your neck the entire game and just breathe on you until somebody breaks. And that's what happened to Arkansas.
Yeah. And then,
much better to be in this bracket than the other.
It is. And you'll see tonight LSU versus UCLA, Arkansas versus Murray State prior as well. It'll be interesting. Keep an eye on.
We will not put John Morant on the YouTube channel just because of our prior discretions.
I need to get a Racers shirt, especially if they go
Murray
out.
State shirt?
Yeah. I think it's
a
a must.
if they lose today, then the price might drop a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to get a Coastal shirt, but
what is wrong?
I don't know about that.
Stop, hush.
What?
Well, you don't need it. Just get the.
Well, it's just, it's a sentimental thing.
Sentimental.
No.
Stick to the top. The purple and gold.
Look at our logo.
Look at that. It's purple and gold.
It's beautiful. We need some merch.
We do need merch.
Need some merch.
We have some for Randy Jones. Where's that
show it
shirt?
off.
Where is it? I don't know where it is.
It's underneath the chair, I believe. But
yeah.
But yeah, obviously keep an eye on how Arkansas handles the pitching against Murray State today, as Lloyd's going to show you this shirt. Shout out to Uncle Randy. This is unbelievable. Show the back. Yep.
Kinfolk on the back.
Kinfolk on the back.
And then our real leader.
Justin Babin Jr.
Doing it from home.
Rally Time Podcast.
Our pastor.
There he is.
Look at him. There he is. Hey, guys. That's our guy.
RPI.
That's our guy. Fonz, I don't think Bear will do much this year. The teams have shown how to beat him. First pitch, fastball, first strike, then all breaking balls away. He hasn't adjusted at all.
Well, I already think he was in the cages yesterday. Like I'm telling you, Johnny's got great video. He's coming by at 8. But of just Jay Johnson, literally, decompress.
Yes.
Buddy, it's moving fast for you. Slow it down. Like, look for one pitch at one spot. You don't have to expand out the zone. You don't have to try to take too many pitches. Go do your deal. Go be Bear Jones.
Right.
And I think that, like I've said throughout the year, because he's been through, it's been peaks and valleys for him. And it takes one swing for him to change the game. And that's really all that matters. Like, keep playing doing your deal defensively,
right.
But then offensively, when you get people on, or I would love to see him start working backside a little bit, and I think you're going to simplify the approach, get a fastball, take a hack.
And I would like to see, when we can go ahead and talk about the lineup, a shift a tad bit. I liked him a lot, a little bit lower in the lineup. Like, he was 3-hole last game.
Mm-hmm.
Let him see more pitches in front of him. I mean, as much as he's going to get a consistent schedule of pitches to him.
My brain goes the opposite way. I wouldn't be surprised if he leads off today.
Really?
Go out there and hunt.
I think he's going to be 5-hole.
But I do like, and another LSU win, the way that they won without really Ethan Fry or Bear Jones. Like, that's
right.
Telling you this lineup is dangerous 1 through 9. But if you get those guys going, because I do think there is a legitimate feeling of fear. If you're on the other side, you have to go Bear Jones, Ethan Fry, Bear Jones. You're like, I have to be super careful, and that's why you see the walks pile up. That's why you see LSU be able to put people on base, because you set the table, somebody's going to come clean it. And whether it's you have to pitch carefully around them or they actually do damage, like that's where LSU is at its peak of consistency, success, because you have the pitching to back it up.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you don't need all that much from your offense, or you haven't this season when you've had Anderson and Eyanson on the mound. They've been able to win you 2-1 ball games, 2-0 ball games, 4-3 ball games, 4-2 ball. Like, with 4 or less runs on the board, you can win with Anthony Eyanson, Cade Anderson on the bump. Now, that's what has to change after those two. Because when it's outside of those two on the bump, whether it's Shores or Newt or Evans or Cowan, usually you want
Coop.
More run support.
Yeah, that's when it gets to,
guys.
like, you want to be able to put up, and the way that I think Jay kind of operates is to be up more than 4. You don't want any one swing to be able to tie the game or win the game. And so they're always trying to, like you saw it with the Stephen Milum, like, let's get one more across, scratch one across to be able to get you up to get just a little bit of a buffer, because you've seen it in the first weekend of Omaha where, like, it only takes a couple pitches where it's like, oh, you're up 3, now there's 2 runners on, a guy at the plate, tying run at the plate. And it happens like this. And so I think they're always trying to get just to that buffer of have a 5-run lead.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do that, you feel like you're in a very good spot because of the pitching that you have. If somebody's not working, you feel very confident going to the next one or the next one, because that's what they've done all year, whether it was a quick hook or not. And it was like, show me something, or like you're trying to earn an opportunity to be able to pitch here. And you've seen guys step up and like earn these opportunities. You know what your role is now.
Yes.
And I think you've seen that from whether it be offensively or defensively, or certainly from the pitching staff of guys that like come in, like Jake Myers, come in and give me, if it's an out, DJ Primo, give me 1 out.
1 out.
And
Jacob Myers, 2 outs.
2
3
outs. Yeah, and then look, you don't have to carry the weight of this thing, but come throw me 102 and throw it down the middle. And if it works good. You're out of here. Boom, next guy.
Yep.
And you have 2 left-handed arms that you trust out the pen, whether it be Primo being able to be a veteran, get an out, or Cooper Williams, who extended and kept you in a baseball game that you had no business being in. And then Cooper Williams was like, okay, let's see it. You saw it. Now he's confident. Like the confidence from the pitching staff and the bullpen, like it should feel a little bit differently than it did throughout the year, where people were, well, this is why you don't have a game 3 guy. You don't have people that can come out the pen. Like, it feels a little bit different now. And you're set up with your guy. Like, you had Cade go and do his job, and now Anthony Eyanson go do your job.
Yeah. What were you about to say?
Well, I was going to comment on the defense, the most underrated part of this team, and that's where people get lost in the Jared Jones conversation and don't talk about him correctly, is the defense. I mean, I think he recorded the most outs outside of strikeouts on Saturday.
And he's been consistent at first all year.
Yes.
Like, you haven't seen him make mistakes defensively at first. I think there was one time where he went to make a backhand and it got to the outfield. I don't remember exactly what game. That was
a hot shot, though.
That's
I remember
the only
that
real
play.
mistake that goes into my...
Yeah, but then you saw the next game he gets in front of it and just bodies it up like a hockey goalie.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job at first, whether it's fielding his position or having to scoop, stretch, all of those things. He's done an excellent job defensively. And that's a part of the discussion when you have people that are, griping and trying to get him out of the lineup. One,
He's not coming out the lineup.
He's never come out. He has not, and it's not going to start now. Defensively, he's been excellent. And offensively, he is still in, like, I promise you, he's still at the top of the scouting report for the other team.
Yep.
Like, they're pitching to it. Like, the only time you've really seen anything kind of, I guess to me, catch my eye when it comes to pitching against Bear was when they would Little Rock intentionally walk Curiel twice to get to Bear.
Yeah. And
that was the only thing that kind of like, whoa.
And I'm sure some people are looking at that game plan and saying, all right, there's a ways to attack him.
Yes.
But fair. But it's still, you make a mistake, he'll lean back on one and change the game.
Well, if he touches one.
Like, that really just, that 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, I don't care if you go 0 for 5 either which way. It's 0 for 5. But flush it. Go to the next one. You saw him put in the extra work. I don't know if that's like, in my mind, I wouldn't do that, but I don't do a lot of things. And so I would have been like not that concerned about it, but clearly it's a game plan where he's like trying to work himself
he's
out.
Trying
of
to find something.
Yeah,
trying
he
to
wants to find something that he can rely on, that he knows that he could go to. It's like when you're not playing your best golf, hit the shot that you're hitting all day. Like if you're hitting a fade that day, play the fade. If you're hitting a draw, play the draw. Just move your feet around because you only have a finite amount of games left, and if you're in a figured out spot, figure out whatever works, whatever helps. Anything you can do to help the team. And I do think that if Bear Jones just starts working a little bit the opposite way, doesn't have to be the game changer. He can still do it. But start being that threat. And I'm telling you, it only takes one. It only takes one barrel. Mikey says this all the time. Like, whenever he was struggling, it's like, just find the barrel. And then it's like, okay, that feels familiar.
Yeah.
And then you're right back into like, okay, I can make contact. Okay, now I can start working. Now I can start dropping balls to different parts of the field. Now I can be a legitimate threat again. And that's how it happens. It happens quick.
And the one thing that should be reassuring in this conversation is how LSU's been able to be successful and extremely successful without what is your most dangerous bat on the team, where you have guys like Fry that have stepped up. Curiel and Milam have been the heartbeat of your lineup through postseason play so far.
Dickinson steady.
Dickinson has stepped up. Stanfield steady. Like, go down the list. You've had guys, Luis Hernandez, like consistency outside of Bear to pick up the slack. And the fact that you can go beat an Arkansas team 4-1 with Bear Jones going 0 for 5 and 5 strikeouts shows you how this team has been constructed outside of him. Last season, Bear Jones goes 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts.
Oh.
You score 1 run and you get run out of the
Tommy White solo shot.
And that's it. The team has been completely reconstructed in a way to mask when things like this happen.
Because you're able to consistently put pressure, whether it be Luis Hernandez get hit by a pitch, draw a walk, Dickinson lay a bunt down, Curiel draw a walk, like that, or hit a opposite side, lefty, go the other way, double.
Right, and then
there's not a spot in the lineup where you feel comfortable if you're playing against LSU.
Right, and so to be able to
feels totally different than last year.
Oh my gosh, night and day.
Yeah.
And to be able to get this without Bear, like just wait till you find he finds one, gets it.
He did it against Arkansas, did it against Tennessee.
And if LSU plays the way they did Saturday, Bear doesn't have to find it to win.
No, but he's going to be a constant presence in the lineup that you have to prepare for, you have to see, and just wait.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in, a little bit, like not on the show, but just because we've been together, it feels like we're running like a bit of a cult here at the Party Box, but we just all talk about the same thing all the time. And like Thompson, what was he, 1 for 20 in the College World Series?
1 for 30.
1 for 30, and then you get the LSU fan base behind you, which I implore to happen again when Bear Jones comes to the plate. Like, rally around this motherfucker, because he's been here, didn't have to come back. Comes back, shows what he can do defensively. He's played third base for you. Like, he's done whatever it takes to be able to win. Like, the negativity around it doesn't help anything. Go out, if you're here, support him. It's all hold the rope. That's the old Skip thing. Like, show support and belief in what this man can do, and that goes a long way. You've seen it work. The Philadelphia Phillies did it whenever they had Trey Turner. You saw LSU do it with Jordan Thompson. Like, it takes a lot to just give a guy a little bit of something to believe in, and if that happens, it usually changes your demeanor.
Yeah, no, have your guys back. Like, think about what it would
rally
mean
around your guys
to this team if Bear Jones finds it.
Keep your negativity on Tiger
and
dropping.
Gets a streak.
Keep all that shit outside of it. But
have his back.
Yeah, when you see him in public, don't keep that same energy because I feel bad for you. But
I know when he goes up to the plate tonight,
like, show him, yeah.
Like when he steps up to the plate, it should be
Stand
cheers. And like have his back. Make sure he knows you're riding with your guy.
Yeah, he's been here for 3 years.
Like he doesn't have to be here. Came back for one reason.
This.
Like he wants to win a national championship with LSU as the everyday first baseman, everyday guy in line. He's got a ring.
Yeah.
He was a part of that 2023 team. Hit
Absolutely.
14 homers. It's not like he was just there. He didn't get a participation trophy.
No.
He was a part of that team. He wants one that he feels like he's a everyday part of this program, these guys that he's been with. Go win one. Have his back.
Yeah.
The second he steps up to the dish.
I got a feeling that this contingency will be doing that, whether it's in the, I don't care if you do it in the press box, but the party box
Or at
squad,
home.
Give him, like, just a couple of these. Everybody up. One time. Just show him that you're here for him. Because that matters.
It does. And it'll be massive for him at the plate. And if he can find it, will be massive for LSU moving forward. With the way they've stepped up around him, if the most dangerous bat on your team finally finds his rhythm, sky's the limit. The sky is the absolute limit.
Because it
for
does
LSU.
feel something. A little,
I mean,
if you want to project into the future of, like, if you win tonight, 2-0, Bear Jones goes 3 for 5 with a 3-run homer. Like, that feels like a great time to, we're going to load up the box. Nope, not, might stay.
Well, especially once you're past the Anderson and Eyanson games, if he can find his rhythm moving forward with the ancillary arms on the bump, would be massive.
Yeah.
Like, because
Set
like
yourself
we
up
said, you
for-
want run support for those guys.
Set yourself up for 1 to win 1 to go 2 to win 3. Or, 3 to win 2.
Yeah, you don't want to have to. I mean, here's a question I'll pose to you. They go to Thursday. They play on Thursday. When we saw in 2023, they played as many games as you could play, the 5th game, whatever. They went.
Tennessee, Wake, Wake.
Yes, and they threw Skeens the last game against Wake.
Yeah, the louder game.
If LSU wins against UCLA and plays Wednesday against whoever, loses Thursday against them again, who would you throw in that game? Would you see Anderson maybe come back out and pitch
Yes.
again?
Yes, you would.
Because see, that's the one thing that I would like. As much as I'd love to just go 3.
There ain't
3
no
and
way.
down. Of course.
No, I'm just taking from a Christian insider. Like, we've been very privileged to have some conversation with Kate Anderson, who is the most down-to-earth person. I mean, he's friends with Christian, which is like says a lot about his mental fortitude and ability to, I guess, get along with anyone. But like, there ain't no way
He's not going to. Yeah, of
he
course.
ain't gonna play if you're in a must-have-it situation.
To go
Like,
to
he'll
the-
kick the door down. It'll be Rick Vaughn in Major League. Like, you're cutting me.
Right.
It's like, no, cuz it's the opposite. Like, yeah, okay, good. Like, I love the fire. Like, Kate Anderson ain't walking out of LSU with a game on the line and not participating.
Right. And so then the mindset shifts because then you're looking at championship weekend, and it'll be
You got to get there. That
all out of whack.
it doesn't matter. Like, get there, figure it out from there, because you've seen Case Evans be able to start a game.
But the best way to make that happen is to go out
Go
there
2-0.
tonight, handle business, go 2-0, make it to where all you
Let
need is
everybody
one more.
else kill themselves. Like,
All
let
you need is
everybody
one more.
else fight against each other while you stand back and
Because
watch
as-
from the Coliseum.
As much as the mindset is, or the expectation would be, everyone's expecting to see Arkansas again on Wednesday and possibly Thursday.
Right,
Like,
and
that's the
that's why
expectation.
they pulled.
And rightfully so. That's why
Root.
they pulled Root. They're going to have him for one of those days.
But if you're LSU,
That's the expectation. But Arkansas still has to go out, play Murray State today,
Yep, and we'll watch.
and they've got to play the loser of LSU UCLA just to get back there.
Yep.
Just to get to
That's why you
Wednesday.
want to be able to put your feet up. Like I said, thumbs down, thumbs up. Like, kill or be killed.
Take care of business today. You get a
Just-
day off.
Yep.
You don't. You got to play tomorrow.
Back to the zoo
Back to the zoo. Go enjoy the zoo again.
or Hooters.
So we're gonna have John Eads join us in hopefully just a couple of minutes as he's waiting on his Uber to get him from wherever he's staying.
He's at Hooters.
We should do breakfast at Uber's.
Breakfast
Hooters.
at Ubers?
Breakfast at
Hooters.
Ubers.
I'm thinking we're gonna Uber to Hooters.
How do you like your
Uber
eggs?
to Hooters and you
Fried
want
or
breakfast at
fertilized?
Hooters.
Fertilized.
There you go. disgusting.
No, let's go to Hooters at
Sickos.
11. Let's do
You want
it.
to go to Hooters?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Oh,
He
Let's
wants
do
to
it.
be introduced.
I don't want to be in the what day
the
is it?
Council Bluff.
The Monday 11 a.m. crew.
Hooters.
Are you gonna eat
I
your
don't think that's
sandwich
your
in the fridge?
all-star lineup. Yeah, of course I am.
Damn it.
You really want that sandwich?
Dude,
don't
it
you?
was good yesterday, and he has his. He's got the same one I got.
I know.
Damn.
DJ's dugout. We stopped by
DJ Primo.
after practice.
Throw up in the bathroom.
At No Chill Sports on Twitter has some numbers on Landon Stump, the UCLA starter tonight against LSU. 17 starts, 73 and a third pitch, 6-1 record, 4.54 ERA, 1.46 WHIP. He's got 62 strikeouts, 37 walks. He's allowed 9 homers. And according to at No Chill Sports, they said he's held it down all season as a steady weekend starter for the Bruins. He's missed bats, battled command, strong win-loss, but postseason stumble versus Nebraska. He gave up 5 earned and 5 innings. And then some of the other numbers. The UCLA bullpen in 2025, 2.25 ERA, 115 innings pitched, 51 strikeouts. Wyland Moss and Luke Rodriguez both have sub 2.5 ERAs with elite whip. And they were huge in the regionals and super regionals. So we'll see what it looks like tonight for UCLA on the bump against LSU. What is the chat saying? Fonz, is he a lefty or righty? He is
He's
a righty.
So you would imagine Jake Brown, right?
I would assume Jake Brown in the lineup. Curiel back in leadoff. Because the only times he's dropped from the leadoff spot has been against a starting lefty.
And
Put
Pearson up
there.
top. Yeah.
So I would assume it'll go back to
Can you pull up the lineup from
Curiel.
the first game? What was it? Pearson, Fry,
Jones,
Dickinson?
Milam.
Dickinson?
Let's see, getting it right here. Yes, Pearson, Fry, Jones, Milam, Hernandez,
Dickinson. Yeah,
Curiel, Dickinson,
Yeah, he was,
Stanfield,
he was in that
Braswell.
7 spot. And I think that's
Six.
Six spot. But that little bottom of the order, whoever he puts down there, I think he's doing to try to put a weapon there because the guys in front of you continue to get on base. So you want another threat at kind of I guess, the start of the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
And you've seen Stanfield be there, and which I wouldn't be surprised by either. But if you have to put a lineup together, what are your thoughts on what it looks like as we go 0 for infinity, trying to pick Jay Johnson's brain?
I would say Curiel leadoff, Fry stays 2-hole. I would say you bump
What
Milam
did Fry
up.
do?
Nothing. He had an off night.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
his
I see, numbers-wise, because I'm just trying to play do I move him to get him comfortable? What are we thinking when you have Fry and Bear go a collective probably
0 for 9.
0 for 9.
Yeah,
and you still
Fry,
win.
flied out, ground out, struck out.
Move some runners.
I would say Curiel, Fry stays in the 2-hole.
Okay.
I would bump Milam up to 3-hole. Jake Brown 4.
I was going to put him 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I would go Bear 5.
Maybe Bear 7 or 1.
Really? I would go Bear 5-hole.
You've seen Jay do this, whether it's just to try to get somebody going or just to have, you have to see pitches. You have, here it is, go.
Yeah.
You saw it we reference Florida 2023 all the time, Cade Beloso. That was a matchup thing because they had Caglione on the mound. He was not a strike thrower. You put somebody at the top of the lineup that takes pitches, had a great at-bat, lefty-lefty, made it awkward for him at the beginning. For Bear Jones, it's hey, let's get going right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see your point.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be more
I doubt it is. I'm just saying. Put
it out there. It's like
But I
Josh
do think-
Pearson and left.
Yeah, it's I think Curiel, maybe Dickinson.
I think Dickinson stays lower in line. I think that's
I like
your
him down
bat.
there. Yeah.
That's your bat low. Because I would have him 6-hole behind Bear. And then you have behind Dickinson, I would go Hernandez, Stanfield, and then maybe Reeves, Stanfield, something like that.
I think Braswell plays again. Braswell.
Think so?
Yeah.
He played so well defensively.
It's just, and that's such.
And so I would see Braswell probably stay in the 9-hole again.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But what he's done defensively, and Tanner Reeves has looked good whenever he's been put in that spot. The defensive loads have kind of gone away for him.
Yes.
But I just think it's a trusted glove, a veteran out there that, even if it's to put down a bunter or get hit, whatever it has to do to put something in the bucket to be able to help you win.
Those 5-4-3 double plays.
Yeah, that's a Milazzo says this whenever he was catching. He'd be like, look, people can, shit on me for my offensive performance. He goes, you know how many runs I saved? Those are RBIs for me.
Right.
And that's the same thing that I'm thinking about, like Mikey B right now, where it's, hey, whatever you do defensively, you're saving a run.
So
That's an RBI.
What would your lineup be?
I think it's Curiel.
Yep.
I like Dickinson at the bottom, but I could also see him. But okay, I'll do my wonky one.
Okay.
Curiel, Dickinson, Fry, Bear, Hernandez,
Wow.
Stanfield.
Oh my gosh.
Who do I have left?
Milam.
Oh, no,
So
go.
Milam, Brown, Braswell,
And then it would be Milam, Braswell.
Andrew Messina, Curiel,
Which
Fry.
would be awesome.
I don't mind that.
I know. Well, because they're all good.
I like Dickinson at the top of the order.
I think, yeah.
I think he's built for Omaha.
Me too.
I think if you put him at,
And
what,
he's
2?
he consistently, he's been swinging and missing at first pitches, but I like that he's going to hunt, and he's getting off speed more than he's ever seen it. But he stays aggressive, and he also knows how to play essentially like positionless baseball, where it's like, if you're back, I'm bunting. If you're up, I can hit it to the gap. Like, I can also leave the ballpark.
Right, anytime.
Like, he's just such a utility guy that wants to be here, loves it. Like, this is his kind of deal. And maybe get him going early just because of that whole thought process. Like, he's already seen it. He's proven he can perform. And now you're in it.
Yeah. Andrew Messina, with a lineup, that's kind of where mine stands. Curiel, Fry, Milam, Brown, Bear, Dick, Lewis,
With
Luis,
the Pat McAfee,
Bryce,
Brian.
Stanfield. Yeah, Brian. But yeah, I mean, that's what I had Stanfield and Braswell flipped, but that's what mine brings. Christian, what are your expectations lineup-wise?
I think it's probably just going to be similar to game 1. But back to the Dickinson point, I really like Dickinson at the top of the lineup because the vibes are off the charts with him.
Yeah.
He said it. The whole story's great. He's been phenomenal all year. But at some point, I feel like you have to trust the bats that have been showing up for you. And I think the one guy you would switch Dickinson for would be moving Milam down. And I just don't see how you do that right now. Because I don't see how you move anybody else down other than maybe like a Jake Brown if he's high, or like Curiel's sticking at the top. Jones and Fry need to stick together. So yeah, I think Dickinson being at the bottom of the lineup, if you can get it going, then move him up. But I think you have to keep him low for right now.
Another question I'll pose: do you think it will be Brown tonight and not Pearson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you'll do what you've done kind of all year. Because if whatever they have in the pen, if it's a lefty that comes out, Pearson in. And if you're playing against LSU, like, you look for that spot in the lineup, and whether you think it's just the smallest advantage to be able to get Jake Brown out the game if he's hot, and you have to put in a lefty, maybe Jay doesn't make a move. But that is one thing that Jay would do to you, right?
Yeah.
So you start thinking that way, where you're looking for little advantages to make them make a move to get somebody out of a lineup, to where it's like, okay, we have the percentage advantage to be able to get an out here, because you're trying to get 27 of them.
Right.
And if that's one of the things that you look at, go Jake Brown's 2 for 3, get it, make, and if he is, I don't think Jay takes him out.
No.
But also, because of how good Pearson's been throughout his career, what he's done here, I like that you did that. Like, Pearson's in. And it could be in the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, doesn't matter. And also, expect a little something from maybe Ashton Larson, because he's been called on in spots early, whether it's just first name out the mouth. Like, Larson, go.
Yeah,
and he's done nothing but had,
he's told you
professional
consistently
at-bats and has been able to perform. And if it's somebody that you think that there's a mismatch that you have, don't be surprised if you see Larson getting at bat.
Larson against a righty with runners on.
Yep, that's what he's done.
His mindset
exactly
has been runners on. If there's a chance to put Larson in the box with runners on against a right-handed pitcher, he's going to take that opportunity. Whether it's in the 4th inning or the 7th inning.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the mindset of, if you have 2 runners on, a runner in scoring position, whatever, give Larson the opportunity.
But yeah, it's so hard to, I'm glad I don't have the job.
Right,
and I know Jay Johnson listens to this and loves the lineups that I put together. WWLD.
What would Lloyd do? He said it himself.
But, it's so... just feels hard to take Pearson out the lineup. But
Right, because that was the point that I like. The reason I asked
I
the
know,
question.
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
It's
he's
like,
been
it
your
makes
veteran.
sense.
He's your guy that was a part of that 23 team, has played in Omaha consistently, has played well regardless if it's a lefty or righty on the mound.
Just don't. I don't think you overthink this one. I think you do what you've done the entire time, and it's
Do
like
your deal.
Jake, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Jake
think-
Brown is proven to be one of the better, if not, one of the better players on the team. And the thing is, it's not a mentality thing, because they don't care. It's a goon squad.
No.
It's a good squad, yeah.
They're all
Jake doesn't
bought
care.
in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you don't care if he plays, if he starts, or if he has to come in later. Like,
Oh, I
they're
thought
all
I heard
bought
that
in.
He was gonna go in the
Yeah, the
transfer
portal.
Yeah.
Keep my son's name out your fucking mouth.
I think it also makes it interesting, too, because LSU's on schedule right now. LSU's on track. This is normal for them to win game one. You're not looking behind the 8 ball right now. If you were, I think maybe you would see a lineup change in the sense that maybe Pearson
you're trying to
stays
find
in against
something.
a righty, right? But I think it's,
Yeah.
keep it the exact same the way you've done it all year. I
Way
think
you've
that's
done
the
it
only
consistent-
way that
Because you've
it
won.
makes sense.
You've won games.
Yeah.
D3M Tigers with I think the first ever
Super chat.
The first ever super chat on the Tingle Go channel.
Wow.
At
With
Lloyd
his
dash
lineup.
Lloyd dash Courtney.
Curiel, Brown, Fry, Milam, Jones, Dickinson, Hernandez,
that's a
Braswell,
great
Siff. I like that
lineup.
one. Wow,
That's a great lineup.
I do like that one. We'll keep that bookmark,
Because
my
the
friend.
the way that I put it together, that's a feast or famine. Like, you could
Yours?
go,
Yeah, with Fry, Jones, Hernandez,
yeah, you could go.
back
That
to
could
back
be a
to
collective
back.
0 for 12,
Yes.
and you don't want that. You want to be able to pepper in your offensive prowess, kind of to like be scared. Like,
Yeah, like in this
every
one, you've
every
got,
third out, you have to be like, oh god.
you've got Milam between Fry and Jones, and you've got Dickinson between Jones and Hernandez. Like,
Yeah, but I'm gonna stick with the. I think the Fry Jones back to back is just something that
I mean, it's
just
intimidating.
makes you feel a little something. Makes
Yeah, I mean,
it feels like somebody touched your neck.
Andrew Messina with the only right answer. Whatever Coach Jay Johnson decides to do,
We ride.
Amen.
If we have to attack on Christmas Eve, we're getting in the boat.
and we're gonna
It's
ride.
my George Washington.
There you
Jay
go, I love
Johnson,
it.
pray for us.
President
President.
Jay
The
Johnson.
Prez.
Looking at some of.
Do you think he'll be the AD at some point? Is he just on the skip path?
I think he's just baseball.
I think he's
I think Brian Kelly wants to be an athletic director. Like, he would do it, you know. But I don't think Jay Johnson. I don't think he's on that path.
I don't know. Is that Brian Kelly's spot, Lloyd? How do you feel about that?
I don't think he'll be the AD at LSU, but I'm saying like I see him in
I mind
that
that?
sense of that position. Jay Johnson, I think, is a baseball guy. Baseball guy.
Baseball
through
guy.
And through.
Paul Tuckett. Yeah, no, but stay forever.
Omar Rojas, how many Jello shots did y'all buy?
I haven't.
Did you?
I just got a text message actually yesterday for today.
And it said.
It said, "Are you participating in the Jello Shot Challenge? I would like to contribute for the show."
There we go. I love that. Yeah, no, I mean, if y'all want to contribute, please
What do you
contribute.
think?
Of course,
Christian
Lloyd's.
can't.
I
get
can't
in.
buy them.
Noah as a straight edge. I'm wearing the brunt of this.
You are.
It's on me.
This is the weight you have to carry.
Yeah, I know, and it's tough.
Well-
my insides hurt. I
Yep.
threw up at DJ's.
You did at DJ's dugout yesterday.
But
I'm looking at Christian. Where is I would love to order my food right now, but I need to know what Lloyd wants
I wanted
for the
a
appetizer. Didn't even
hospital.
have any
Oh yeah, pretzel barrels.
pretzel barrels.
I'll see
They're
those
great.
later.
They were delightful. And then Lloyd sees we're sitting in DJ's dugout.
Oh yeah.
We're just enjoying our pretzel barrels, watching what was it?
Ball.
Arizona versus who were they playing? Louisville
yeah.
on the screen, the big screen. And Lloyd sees this little tiny TV. Like I'm telling you, it's a projector screen of baseball on the wall. Lloyd sees this small TV in the upper left-hand corner.
What's
that's just
that?
got these numbers on it. And some of the numbers are red. There's one blue number.
And
And,
somebody's playing a game.
and Lloyd's like, what is that? I want to do it. So he starts looking around the entire restaurant.
What's it called?
I have no idea. Finds what it is, walks over there, grabs
It's like bingo.
three slips and a booklet. A
Yep.
booklet to read, figure out how it works. 3 slips. Me, Lloyd, and Christian all fill out the numbers, whatever. And then Lloyd goes back, turns it in with $3, comes back.
Made a friend.
Comes back with a quarter.
Yeah.
It's hilarious the way his brain worked of, Everyone else is just going to look at that TV and watch the baseball game. That's one. Like, they're going to eat
No one's
their
gonna
meal.
pay any mind
they're
to
going
it.
to enjoy baseball. Boom, Lloyd finds this small TV with a bunch of numbers on it and says, how do I bet on
And that's
that?
why it's there. I'm sure Lloyd was not the last person to go in.
He's
there.
not the only person.
No,
Yeah.
that
Same
divorce
thing.
guy that was sitting at the bar with drinking his beer with he had a, give me a couple Boilermakers. He had the classic beer with the whiskey shot, and he probably had 6 of them. And he's like, oh, you're playing, it's like Plinko, but different. I don't know what it's called, but there's a whole booklet, and you pick numbers on a card. If you're in the chat, you know, like, you've probably played it. But you just have to, like, circle up to 20 numbers. We picked 4 each is what I got the advice from my divorced dad. That was up there, and he was like, just pick 4. That's your best return on your investment. And I was like, perfect. We paid $3, came back 3 to win 25 cents.
There you go, yep. 3 to win 25 cents, and we...
No better bet in
It's
the
not
world.
3 to win 25. Like, you didn't come back with $3 and
No, I bet $3 to win 25
I'll give
cents.
you $3 to give
And he gave me a quarter.
It was unbelievable. D3M Tigers
If
asks...
I give you $1, you can keep most of the
that
change.
Charlie Oliver, Keno. Nailed it.
Keno, because all I
Nailed it.
want is a quarterback.
D3M Tigers in the chat. If LSU gets a sizable lead versus UCLA, do you pull Eyanson early to save him for a possible appearance in Game 3 clincher to the title series? Lloyd? Christian, you pop.
Yeah.
Let's hear your thoughts.
You're not going to pull him early per se, but I feel like you're not going to extend him for sure.
You would see maybe a pitch
But
count?
there's no way Jay Johnson pulls this guy early because of the lead they
You
have.
don't, no.
I think maybe that'd be a good play if if you're in the losers bracket, whatever. Like I can see I can see why that'd be necessarily a smart play, but you're not extending him. You're definitely not extending him, but you're not going to pull him early either. You're going to keep Anthony Eyanson on his routine, on his normal days, and he's gonna throw for you.
In the regional, what was his rest? He pitched against Little Rock Game 1 on Friday.
After he threw in the SEC tournament?
No. From that to coming back and closing the game against Little Rock on Monday.
He had a day off,
Just one day.
right? One day?
No. He had Saturday and Sunday. He had 2.
2 days?
2 days. So,
Yeah, I mean, and Jay's references
and
before.
that was when he threw 98 pitches
Yeah,
against Little Rock.
and he's like, this is the guy that, like, he just has a quicker turnaround time because that's just what it is. Like, the way that he rests and recuperates has been faster. But the way that it's currently constructed, how many pitches did Kate Anderson throw?
90.
100 on the
Straight
dot.
up 100?
Yep, 100 on the dot.
I mean, I've seen him throw 150. So
That's
he's got
130.
he's got 50 more in the chamber. So I would think if it's anybody, it would be. I'm not playing that game.
No,
Just in my mindset, it's not a.
Eyanson stays in that.
Hey, you're up
game.
3.
No.
Take him out.
Save him.
No.
No.
It's go as long as you can, as hard as you
Win
can,
the baseball
as fast as you can. If he wants to go 9, go 9.
Same guy asked 70 to 80 pitches ?
For what?
So
I don't think they're going to go in with that.
he's looking for a pitch count.
It was
Plan
Keno.
of like-
Yeah.
He's asking 70 or 80. Like if
He's at
you
that
see
number.
LSU's up, I don't know what,
5-1. Oh, 8-0. I mean, shit.
Okay.
It's a great spot to be in. Yeah, but
Would you pull if LSU's winning 8-0? Eyanson's at 83 pitches in the
5th.
6th. Do you take him out?
Yeah, but then then who do you go to, Coop? Like what
Probably.
you have to have what you got?
What's the difference between 80 pitches and
That-
110?
That's
Right,
what exactly.
right.
That's my mindset too. It's like you've already.
So just let him go the
He's a
distance.
starter. Once he's played, he's played.
Let him go.
Like it's not
I'm with you.
He's not a what do they call it? Whenever like the Tampa Bay Rays like have a quote unquote like starter that comes into the game and throws 30 pitches, then he get out of the first.
Yeah, it's an
An
An opener.
And Jay knows this, but you don't want to play like that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Put,
In case we get in the losers bracket, no, they're not going to play like
Well,
that.
no,
Saving them for what? You're just going to play in Game 3 in the championship.
you
so
get
why does
there.
it-
Yeah, just get there.
Or the semis,
Well,
but-
think about the other guys. You have to trust the other guy. It's no longer the LSU arms of what March. Like it's not that conversation anymore. You have guys that you can trust for Game 3 in Shores, Evans, Newt, Cowan, Coop.
And don't give another team an opportunity to breathe.
No.
Like if Eyanson's shoving, Why would you take him out just because of it's 8-1? Good, make it 12-1. Like keep him out there if he's pitching that well. You've played your card. There's no splitting eights. There's nothing. You got your ace on the table. Give me another king. 21. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm
Nate,
not doing anything
1886.
that if it's working, it's working. Keep it rolling.
Eyanson is going to go as long as he can. So don't forget, everything we've done in Omaha, all the content is brought to you by GoMart and Wardo's. Shout out to Tommy G taking care of us. We got the Starlink working. We've got the snacks, the drinks. We had the po' boys at Wardo's on the way up here. He has been excellent to us. And then our everyday sponsors.
Wardo's greater than DJ's.
Yes. Wardo's is the best meal I've had so far.
Yeah, we're going back. We might have to spin back through.
And then don't forget about all of our other sponsors. AJ Sports Cards, CAS Roofing and Advising, Range Fit.
Range Fit should be back yesterday. Well, yeah, we're gone.
Yeah, we got the packet right over there.
Yeah.
Always been enjoying some Range Fit. So
a little
we're going to take a quick break. John Eads is standing in the parking lot somewhere walking aimlessly.
Oh, he's a lot lizard?
He's a lot lizard. We've got John Eads the lot lizard. That's crazy.
That's the double seam for you.
We'll take a quick break. We'll get Eads in here and we'll talk some more LSU baseball.
His phone.
It's just this board in general. It's how they heard me say I want to kill Lloyd last time. It doesn't completely mute.
Wait. Can anybody hear me right now?
Probably. Probably not.
I don't know. I don't trust it anymore because
Yeah, we said.
the roadcaster doesn't clearly. Can you mute it from remix?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
John outside?
Yeah, go get him.
I've been giving L's like I know love, but I can't.
Somebody. Yes. It sounds good. You ready?
No. I don't know. I can hear you guys. Find out. Background. No. I didn't hear anything. Okay, thank God.
Yeah. How about it, huh? All right. Welcome back in here. Hour number 2 has been rolling on this morning as we are joined by, like we always introduce him, the hardest working man in Baton Rouge sports media. Oh, yeah?
Just
another
shift.
He was
shift, clocked
sweating
in.
his ass off.
Put in another shift.
Yeah, that turf
Put
is
something in
hot,
the bucket.
Turf was hot.
I threw up in the bathroom.
Wow.
He did.
Look.
After practice, he went and
Dude, I gave my heart. I gave them all for LSU.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
That's right, Cordell.
No, if you can make it through, and you know this now, if you can make it through a fall camp day of LSU football filming, you can make it through anything.
that was nothing.
in my opinion. So
Yeah, that was just Child's play on the turf yesterday compared to August fall camp practices for LSU football. But we'll start off with your thoughts from we were obviously in the press box Saturday night watching the Tigers.
were we ever?
Me too.
Where we ever, yes,
And
me,
Christian.
you, Christian, Scott
Quite a
Rabelais,
crew.
Koki Riley.
I felt like I
were
was
hanging out,
in
man.
Alcoholics Anonymous. I was like, I got to get out of here.
Lloyd was up there. He couldn't get leave fast enough.
Gotta go.
We had a good time. And your thoughts from the game on Saturday?
Fiending.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird game. I feel like we hyped it up so much. LSU, Arkansas, instant classic. It really wasn't an instant classic, you know. LSU had that second inning where I told you before they had that whole sequence, oh, this could be a dangerous part of the lineup here,
Right.
you know, just with how Jay constructed it. The guys that typically take those quality at-bats, they get a couple of walks on some really good ABs, and then you get the single from Stanfield, who was moved up in the lineup. Remember what we
Right.
talked about?
Yep.
Stanfield at 8, I don't know. You know, I kind of like him at 9. But that ended up working out because you never know. Braswell's up there, and he's had his moments. He's played some great defense, but has had some struggles on offense. What if he hits into a double play, you know? Stanfield goes up, he delivers, and then Braswell comes in and he lays down a bunt, but instead gets hit by the pitch. That drives in another run, roots out of the game, and that's really all you needed to do because, you know, in these pitchers' duels, it was a pitcher's duel on the one side, maybe not so much for Arkansas because Root got pulled, but Gackle came in
Yeah,
and
it was a
shoved
pitcher's duel once Root was out.
in some respects. But
Yeah.
Anderson had his stuff. He's a super competitive guy, as I'm sure Christian knows, growing up with him and stuff, where
Shove him in a locker.
wow. Did he actually?
No,
Probably.
Never.
I don't
Never.
think Cade
Too
would do
nice
that.
of a guy.
Yeah, he really
It's
is.
easy to get pushed to that point with Christian, though, to shove him into a locker.
Well, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
I'm closer to
Stay around.
Koki got introduced to her yesterday.
Oh.
It was so funny. We finally we won Koki over to make fun of Christian.
Koki's a nice guy.
He's
He
the best.
won't make fun of anybody.
He's the
either.
best.
Yeah.
He's the
Except
best.
me.
Kobe made fun
Yeah.
of me. I mean, I put it on myself, but
Well,
Kobe-
you had the line in the press box the other night that Mike Tyson wouldn't be who he is without his punching bag, and
Exactly.
that's just who Christian is.
it's a
Exactly.
crazy line.
It's the
It's a
punching
good line,
bag.
but
It
Ethan
works.
Fry needs a bat. You know,
Fortunately,
there's
it's
no
true.
Ethan Fry without a bat to hold and something to hit the ball with.
Yeah.
There
So,
you go.
you know,
That's true.
That's you, Christian.
got to know your role,
Yeah.
right?
He does.
He does.
Know you're rolling playing well.
Yes.
But back to the pitcher's duel, when you have Cade on the mound, your offense typically won't need to do a lot to win the game, except for West Virginia when they, Cade wasn't great. Maybe he was left in there longer than he was supposed to be in because of the situation and wanting to save pitchers. Your offense put up 16 runs. Pretty hard to lose a baseball game and
Right.
score 16 runs. But in Omaha against this Arkansas lineup that's super talented and explosive, he needed to be at his best, and he was. And the defense was great, too. I hope that doesn't get overshadowed. Braswell turning the double plays, Dickinson fumbling the ball a little bit but still recording the out and keeping his composure. Stanfield taking good angles. Curiel and Josh Pearson not having any slip-ups in the left or right side of the outfield. Just a complete performance, in my opinion. And no, it wasn't a 10-0 win, but your offense was disciplined and took advantage of Arkansas's mistakes,
Yeah.
which you need to do this time of year. That's kind of, Jay talks about playoff games during the season, and they played this 56-game playoff, and that's what playoff games sometimes are, is one-run close games where one or two mistakes by the opponent that are capitalized upon are the difference, and that's what the difference was on Saturday.
And then tonight, LSU versus UCLA, game 2 for the Tigers, looking to go 2-0, put yourself in the position to only need to win one more to punch your ticket. Your thoughts on UCLA, some of the numbers. I figured you would have your
I got my
notes ready.
Let's go.
Road Notes edition.
There you go.
Out of the backpack. I got a lot of chicken scratch here, but I'll get more into specifics. But from a bird's eye perspective, their bullpen's really deep. The guy they're starting today, Landon Stump, He's only had 2 outings this year over 6 innings, so he's probably a 4-inning, 5-inning guy, and then they'll either match you up bullpen-wise to oblivion with 4 or 5 different arms like they did against UTSA in the Super Regional and like they did in Game 1 there against Murray State. They've also got some guys out of the bullpen, though, that can extend for you, give you 2 innings, 2 and a third innings. So pitching staff's pretty good. I'm not sure that they're of the level of SEC guys in terms of velo and stuff and whatnot. And then their offense, they have some really, really good hitters. Their shortstop is one of the best in the country, possibly the best in the country, and Rock Chalosky. They have some outfielders that can hit it pretty well, too. And, kind of a West Coast style of offense, which Jay Johnson is familiar with, right? A lot of hit and run, a lot of doubles, not so much power. And so that plays well in the Chuck, where you're not going to hit a lot of home runs. This team's not thinking home run. They're thinking, let's get guys on base, let's bunt, let's hit and run, let's move guys over via the steal. So it's going to be a difficult matchup. You might look at UCLA, you see the national seed, which is a double-digit national seed. The fact that they haven't been in Omaha in 12 years since they beat LSU in that first-round game in 2013, like y'all had talked about, and maybe not think much of them. You think that, hey, we beat Arkansas, so we're in the clear. We're due to go to the championship series. Not so much. It's a good team. Yeah. It's 2 similar styles of ball clashing at the same time. And I think it's going to be a really close game. It might be like the Arkansas game, 1 or 2 mistakes, 1 bad half inning, and you're in a bad spot, one way or the other.
And that's what we've kind of continued to say is, like, Mikey always says, like, nameless, faceless opponent. When you get to Omaha, every team is good. Like, there's not like, oh, you fell into one. Like, thank God you're playing whomever. UCLA has earned the right to be here, and they're here. And they're in the winner's bracket. And while the bracket is set up where people are like, you saw Coastal yesterday, like Jay Mitch texted yesterday, he's like, it feels like Coastal's going to run through that side of the bracket. And now LSU is in a totally different spot of, feels like the names are recognizable. But I wanted to ask you this because Jay being a West Coast guy, do you think that's any advantage at all to seeing that style of baseball his entire life, whether it be Nevada, he's from California, or Arizona, like he's lived on that side of the bracket, so to speak. Like, do you think that helps him prepare for a team that is more West Coast than anybody you'll ever play in the SEC?
I think so, without a doubt. I wouldn't say he has a coaching advantage in this game. If he does, it's not a big one, because maybe so. But John Savage has 800 career wins. He just picked up win number 800 the other day, and that's a guy that Jay said he respects, he's looked up to. So he might have a little bit of an advantage because he has had a lot of success in Omaha, especially recently. But, it like you said, it's 2 of the same styles, and, it might help in some regards, like knowing when to shift, knowing how to align maybe defensively. Coach Yeski's very familiar with that style of ball. He coached at Oregon State for a time, right? He's been on that side of the country. So from a pitching standpoint, pulling the right levers, when to throw what pitch, how he's kind of managing Anthony Eyanson, I think that he'll have some at least familiarity there, so that can help. And then Anthony Eyanson himself, he's a Cali guy. He said it in the press conferences yesterday that he's very familiar with the West Coast style of ball. He played at UC San Diego.
Grew up watching UCLA.
Exactly. He grew up a fan.
One of the 5 fans that they have, it feels like.
Well, I mean, you look at the Jello shot tally, and that math would check out, honestly.
California sober.
Yeah. Like, there's nobody here, apparently, for them. But, I mean, if you want to know how many fans you have in Omaha, just look at the Jello shot counter. And clearly UCLA doesn't have a lot. So I'd expect LSU to have a big advantage from the stands in this game. But Eyanson has that familiarity. And so I think it could help. I'm not sure how much, like, in a game like baseball where it's bat and ball and, you can shift guys and things like that. But it's not like football where if you want to stop the run, you put 8 or 9 guys.
Or just talent wins out. Like at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you see where it's like, all right, third, fourth quarter, LSU usually takes over, and like even against UCLA. Like you've seen it happen. But I wanted to ask you about Yeski. I'm glad you brought him up because I think the development of the pitching staff has been unbelievable. Where you've seen guys that obviously are talented. The recruiting always going to be there for LSU, but the development of certain guys, like I don't think Yeski gets talked about enough in that regard.
Well, he does get talked about a lot, but it's negatively, and I don't really understand it.
It's always been a pitch. So you're, I guess, relatively green to Baton Rouge and LSU. If you can't blame the head coach, it goes directly to the pitching coach. It's like the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Like, it just goes right to him.
Right.
Like, whether it was Yetzke, Wes Johnson, Alan Dunn before him, it's always been that way. But I think Yetzke's done a phenomenal job stepping into a role with Jay that they've worked together before, and you've seen these guys get better and better as the year's gone on.
I think so. I mean, I'm super confident in the LSU bullpen right now. Like, you could go down the list of guys that they have that you could see. They come into the game, they trot out of the bullpen. You have the utmost confidence in them. Chase Shores, Kason Evans, Cooper Williams, Zach Cowan. Who am I forgetting? The list goes on. I mean, you got Jacob Myers is another. Jaden Newt. Like, I'm pretty confident in all of those guys, and that's a testament to Coach Yeski having those guys prepared for now. Like, it's one thing to struggle in late March, mid-April. You know what I mean?
That was the only conversation LSU was having.
Right.
It was you're scoring 10 runs a game. Like, how could you lose? And it's like, oh, who do you trust to be the Game 3 starter? Who do you bring out the pen?
Yeah.
Because you felt like you had Kate Anderson. And then there was even conjecture on Anthony Eyanson to move him to the bullpen.
Right.
And not the regard that they did. But in I don't know if he's a Game 2 starter. And it's proven to be, no, he's a Game 1 starter that gets to pitch on Game 2.
No, I mean, he's known the plan all along, and they really haven't changed much up besides moving Shores to the bullpen and then having that day 3 guy kind of be TBA / Kason Evans. So he's kind of seen the vision from the beginning, and that's why coaches don't listen to fans, because fans, most of them are very reactionary and in the moment, and they don't see the bigger picture in the long run. Yeski has, and it's led to this, a starting pitching staff with 2 aces, Kate Anderson, who shoved the other day, and Anthony Eyanson, who is going to shove tonight, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have Kason Evans, who could be the day 3 guy. Jaden Newt has had some starting experience. Chase Shores obviously started early in the season. So they have plenty of options. And I think the most important thing about the Yeski conversation is that they're all pitching their best right now at the most important time, which is in Omaha. So I don't know what concerns you could possibly have with the pitching staff from now. Like Chase Shores, he looks like a completely different pitcher. You know what I mean?
Oozing confidence.
Yeah.
Like, so
confidence
on
is the best drug in the world.
Yes.
And he's full of
Everybody's
it.
on
Like,
it.
Yeah, he's a felony charge right now. Like, he's coming in, and, like, the way he even, like, walks around at practice.
Yeah.
Like, Maverick Rizzi, a guy we didn't name. Like, these are mammoth human beings that should be confident. But Chase Short just feels like he's operating on a plane of, like, I finally realized how good I am. And
Scary thing.
It's a scary thing. And this is, we were saying it before Omaha even started. It was yes, you'd like to have Chase Shores back, but if you're in a position to win a national championship, it's probably because Chase Shores is pitching his best.
Yes.
And he's a first-round pick.
Yeah.
He comes in, he throws the wild pitch, and then he just had no slip-ups
Dialed from there.
You know?
Yeah, get that one cutter out the way, then let's go 101 on the dial.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was kind of like on the edge of my seat, like, oh, seen this before from Chase.
Right.
But then he rebounded and recovered, and it was a great outing. And he only threw 1 inning. Evans throws 1 inning. So
10 pitches, 13 pitches.
You're in a really good spot from a pitching standpoint. Yeski's done a great job. I got a video of him with Cade after the game. He, like, gave him the ball, the game ball, I think, or maybe it was the last, I don't know which.
Right.
If it was just a regular ball or a ball they used in the game. But then they had a hug, and, you know, everybody talks so highly of Coach Yeski and just the personal side, the relationship side, and not just the business side of things. So he's the guy for the job. There's no doubt about it. And then he's so bought into the program, you know. Like, he talks so much about the atmosphere and why it's the best among all the places he's coached in. And there's a video of him after they won the Supers where they start playing, you know, calling Baton Rouge. And he's like,
turn that shit up.
Yeah, you can say it about me. Like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So, like, that's not a facade.
No.
That's just naturally who he is.
Yes.
So he loves LSU. He loves being in Baton Rouge. And I think he's doing a great job. And the results speak for themselves, and they will continue to speak for themselves over the next 2 weeks.
Bear Jones, when we look back at Saturday night, rough night, 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. You got the video put out of him working after practice, one-on-one kind of, with Coach Johnson, swinging the bat. Your thoughts on Bear? Because we talked about it earlier in the show, the way he performed defensively, really all season, but especially fielding his position on Saturday. Your thoughts on Bear Jones and just kind of his situation moving forward, whether he's moved around in the lineup or just kind of your expectations?
Well, like y'all have talked about, you know, he didn't let that affect his defensive play. There were a lot of difficult plays that he had to make defensively in that game against Arkansas. You know, fielding the ground ball, pitching it to the pitcher, or just going to the bag
Covering
himself.
the bag himself.
Right.
Yeah, like the athleticism speaks volumes.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Like
Because you have a Kate Anderson lefty following the other side, and he knows that. Like that's a Yetsky thing also. That's just a coaching thing in general of, hey, he's not going to be able to get to the bag on some of these. It feels like a bigger ballpark.
And he made that decision quickly.
Quickly.
Like, there was no hesitation.
And that's what happens in Omaha. Like, you've seen it where people make one mistake. Like, you saw Coastal break it open yesterday. And it's like those little things that, like, you get one, if you give them 1 inch of life, like, it feels like something's going to happen. LSU, if you are on your, like, if you do your deal on your, like, defensive cues and understand the assignment, it feels like that's where LSU is right now. It's like, all right, he's not going to be able to cover the bag. There's no hesitation. I'm going.
Yeah.
And that's what feels great about what Bear Jones did defensively.
That's championship level traits. You know, the way they turned those double plays and the way Bear just fielded the ball, didn't even think about it, went to the bag. Like, that's championship level defense and instinct, in my opinion. So I was just impressed that that didn't affect his defensive side. And they really needed that to win that game, in my opinion. And I feel like we've had this conversation so many times this year, like, oh, Jared, he needs new eyes. He's got to go get LASIK. He's not seeing the ball. And then the next game he comes out and hits a single, a double, a home run. Like West Virginia. I remember I was setting up for my live shots. I forget if it was the Little Rock game or the West Virginia game. I think it was West Virginia. And fans were outside and asking me, what's going on with Jared? What do you think's wrong with him? Do they need to bench him? All this. I'm like, no. Like, he can change the game in one swing of the bat. We've even had this conversation. All it takes is one good AB for Jones to get out of a miniature slump, and I think he's going to do that in this game. Like, West Virginia, the exit velo was up. He was making good contact. They moved him up and down the lineup, and he was back to being himself. And I think he's going to do the same thing in this game against UCLA, because people are so quick to dismiss him and stuff after one bad game, but it happens. By the way, Gabe Gackel's a really good freaking pitcher.
Oh, my God.
Like, he was a starter for them all year. Then he struggled a bit, so they moved him to the bullpen, and some of the guys that cover the team told me he's just been absolutely electric. So, you know, tip your cap to him a little bit as well. He had one pitch that was getting Jared, it looked like every time, the slider.
Yep.
And that's probably what Jared was kind of working on seeing a little bit better with Coach Johnson at practice and whatnot. So I would expect Jared to bounce back in a big way. There's a reason why he's put up the numbers he has in the 3 years that he's been at LSU, and I would expect him to, depending on where Jay puts him in the lineup, certainly contribute on the offensive side.
And you have something?
I was gonna ask if he wanted to give a lineup prediction. What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask one more thing about UCLA.
All right.
Oh yeah, do that. My question's
I want to
dumb.
talk about UCLA's lineup.
Okay.
Kind of what Anthony Eyanson and whoever else comes out of the pen will be facing tonight against the Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of contact, but they'll really cause some issues for you mentally if they get on base, because they play those gymnastics, you know what I mean? They bunt, they steal, they hit and run. But the thing about Anthony is that I think that he's equipped to handle that pretty well.
Yes.
Because he pitches extremely well with runners on base, and he doesn't think much about what is going on around him when there are things going on. Like, you know, pitcher's approach can change at times when there's a guy on second, there's a guy on third, there's a guy on first. They're worried about him. You know, is he going to steal? What are they looking to do here? Are they looking to lay down a bunt? You know, you're constantly checking to see, you know, what's his leadoff looking like, and it might take away from your actual pitching. You know, you don't locate as well. Your velo ticks down a little bit. But Eyanson has proved every single week, really, this year, his ability to get out of jams and find his way through traffic, almost like a magician. You know, like he came in out of the bullpen against A&M, and there was guys in the corners, right? Or at least the guy on third. And he found a way to get out of that with no outs. Like the
leadoff triple.
It was a leadoff triple that he gave up, and then from there, nobody scored. And they got a little bit of help from the base runner interference. But look, he was out.
It's baseball.
Happened. Exactly.
But all of that goes into the coming out of the bullpen for the first time this year, and you get every wonky scenario you could, and he was still nails. Like, absolutely still, like, was able to, I guess, direct that kind of traffic around himself where that's not a situation you want to come into as a starter. You want it to be clean.
Yeah.
Like, come into a top of an inning, bottom of an inning where there's nobody on base. You get to go through your stretch, wind up, whatever it is. Like, you feel comfortable. It feels like a start. He came into the absolute opposite of that and still was able to perform in a way that, like, there was chaos all around him, and he was like, I'm good.
It's hard to do. I mean, that's what separates a
unbelievable
good from a bad pitcher. That's why his ERA is what it is, which I wrote it down, 274.
Yeah.
And if you go and you could probably find some kind of statistic, the base runners he's allowed or something like that, that is a very good ERA for the amount of base runners that have been on against him, I feel like. And not to mention 142 strikeouts, third in the country, to just 35 walks.
And who's first in the country?
Kate.
Yeah.
I thought Anthony was in second. I guess he may have fallen back a little bit.
Well, he gets
to
to pitch tonight.
Somebody. But yeah, he'll be right back up.
And I'm pretty
on that
sure he's
leaderboard.
the second closest to Cade that is still active.
Yeah.
I think Doyle might be in second.
Oh, he's
or
not playing
somebody,
anymore.
And he's not playing.
Yeah.
So
he'll probably jump back up. But no,
Yeah.
it's a really good UCLA lineup. We talked about Shalovsky, who plays shortstop. Peyton Brennan, guy that plays outfield, is hitting .520 in the entire postseason. By the
Wow.
way, UCLA has not lost a game at all, I don't think, this entire postseason.
they swept their regional and their
Yeah.
super.
So that's 6 straight wins
Wow.
right there, including Murray State. I have one other thing I want to mention after the lineup here. One thing that I gathered from research is that they might have limited exposure to some high-velocity pitching that you'll see in the SEC. So that might help. Maybe they'll bring in a Shores out of the bullpen who's pumping triple digits, a velocity output they haven't really seen this year that might cause their lineup some problems. But a few more guys to mention. AJ Salgado, first player in UCLA history to record double-digit homers and stolen bases. So he's a guy, I think he had a big double for them against Murray State in like the 6th inning or so, which was important. They've also got this guy, I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly. I looked up the pronunciation. Mulavai Lavu, second in the country, led the Big Ten with 85 RBI. So they have some guys that can really swing the stick. They're also good defensively. Their fielding percentage is .982. That's 7th in the country, and they lead the nation in turn double plays.
Yeah.
So it's just a really good team overall. I think one key to this game, it's cliche, but it's true. UCLA is 27-1 this year when they score the first run.
Okay.
When they take the lead early. So they like
Nice
playing
tidbit
with
there.
the lead. I think LSU, like every game, you want to score first, but especially in this game, scoring first will be the key because statistics can be misleading, but 27-1 is 27-1. I mean, that's pretty dang good.
And LSU is
So-
the home team tonight, so the UCLA bats will be up first with the opportunity to try to strike. Lloyd, you want to go with your lineup question?
Well, now I'm just thinking about where Eyanson's been, and like you've seen some of like early on against like he gives up a 5. What was it? Nebraska?
Sometimes.
Nebraska.
We've
Yeah,
talked
like-
about that recently with him.
Yeah, because just to hear that, like what numbers never lie. To hear that stat, it's an interesting matchup for Eyanson, where it almost feels like
But lately,
it evens out. It evens out a little bit for if you're UCLA. If you feel like you can get ahead early against the guy that usually like settles in. You know
but
what I'm
I
saying?
think that's the old
But-
Anthony Eyanson. Like
Yeah,
that was
I
his
agree.
problem in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
But lately, that really hasn't been his issue. It's more so been the second or third time around the lineup, like West Virginia. Just thinking back on recall,
Yeah.
So
No, I'm,
could be a talking point.
The last thing I'm really actually concerned about is Anthony Eyanson getting in or out of trouble.
Yeah.
But like I said the same thing, and I'll say it again now. But it's like Cowan, like you keep putting yourself in that situation. At some point, it goes the other way. But it just feels so different with Anthony Eyanson and the confidence he's pitching with right now. Like UCLA, they haven't faced. LSU's been doing SEC competition the entire year. Like,
Yeah.
you're playing the best teams in the country all the time. UCLA, one of the best teams in the country. They're here. It's just, as much as they have similarities in terms of how they play baseball, the uptick in velocity, the uptick in competition, it's a little bit different. But California kids, like, you can see it how they play infield.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel Dickinson's from the West Coast. Stephen Miller's from the West Coast. Like, those hands play. And that's how you see, like, great infield, great, like, just the discipline of it all. Like, that's what they do well. And so it's going to be a very well-played baseball game. I do want to find out if that's even possible, like the runners on Luis Hernandez and like the stolen bases, because
Yeah, I feel like that hasn't
it's
been
not
a
like a
huge
stat you
issue
can
this
find.
year.
Yeah, it just
there
feels
hasn't
like
been a lot of teams that have stolen bags on LSU with success. Sometimes there's times where
they take one.
they'll
they let
give
you.
one up,
Yeah.
but there have also been times where LSU is like just not even been prepared to play the steal, and there's no throw, nobody's even on second.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think they just kind of let you have it.
Yeah, but they were practicing that a lot. It's a closed practice. They spent like 10 to 15 minutes, 3 pitchers lined up across the mound, and they would look back at first base, second base, third base, and throw the pickoffs there. They would also throw it to the catcher, who would then rifle it over to the bag. So they spent a lot of time playing and preparing for not only the steals, the pickoffs and stuff, but also like
PFP?
the bunting and things like that too. So that's something they've done a lot this postseason because Little Rock plays a similar kind of style. So I think they're well prepared for it. UCLA is going to try to throw a lot at them, but Jay has been doing this for years, has that West Coast familiarity. It's his style of offense.
Right, he knows what he's looking at.
Exactly. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a factor in the game, to be honest with you.
Another thing that LSU has done extremely well that I don't know if it's been like talked about or seen, but just from watching, it's how quickly Kate Anderson and Anthony Eyanson work to where it's impossible to get a feel for when to go, when to steal. It's not like they're setting and pausing and like not checking or checking. It's get the ball and go. And if you're a base runner, it's hard to get your timing down if you're trying to get a feel for what the pitcher's move is, which foot goes, if it's a slide step, like high kick, whatever it is. They move so quickly that it's almost impossible to take a bag because you don't have a timing of when they're going to go or what leg kick they're going to use, because you have coaches on first base that have the stopwatch that go from pitcher's mound to catcher, and they go, okay, if it's over 1-5, like, we're stealing. And if it's not, then it's like, all right, it's a no-go. And then so it's just like but the way that LSU does it from a pitching perspective of quick check, go, pick off, quick check, go, it's like you can't ever get comfortable in terms of trying to feel out what the pitcher is going to do and fall into, like, almost out of a rhythm. Like you saw Luis Hernandez against Little Rock, like, they're not looking, I'm going.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of stuff happens, but LSU is so mentally on top of that kind of thing to where it's like you're not giving away a free base because you weren't doing your job in terms of, like, checklist of what to do or falling into a rhythm where it's easy to not check, whatever. But I just feel like that's what LSU's done well from a pitching perspective because Cade works so fast, Eyanson works so fast, it's almost impossible to get a feel for taking a bag.
And some of the numbers, Luis Hernandez, 28 stolen bases allowed, and he's had 6 that he's put out. So, I mean, 28 stolen bases allowed, and how many games have they played? This is, 64? Today's 65. So they
He's
played
caught in 60 of them?
64 games. He's caught in majority of those. He's 50 of the 64, and only 28 stolen bases allowed.
And I'm sure, like, a lot of those, probably
Or gimmicks.
60%
Right.
or so, if not more, like, late game, you could take second, we don't really
Right.
care.
You're right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
And you mentioned the timing. Eyanson does a good job of that, mixing up his timing. Like, even when he's pitching, like, he'll go quick rock, he'll hesitate. Like, he does do a good job of that to keep guys kind of
They're
honest.
just so cognizant of the guys on base.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
and not in a bad way of like, oh, I have to pick, or they're making me nervous. You saw Fry do it whenever he got on base where he's, like, making them look at him, and then it causes it causes a pass
Exactly.
ball.
That's what I'm. Eyanson does a good job of not letting that impact the way he pitches. It's almost as if they're not even there.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
there's a certain, like, don't give a fuck factor when you're on the mound of, like, if you see a guy on, it's like, I don't care what you do because I'm focused on the hitter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get him out so you don't matter.
And I think that'll be important in this game to do that because
Yeah.
I'm not saying UCLA is going to have a lot of base runners, but
That's what they
that's
want.
what they're
No,
that's
that's
what
their
their
game. That's
offense
how they
is.
operate.
When they're the
Yeah.
most dangerous.
So now they have to get on. Like Ayanson's got 142 strikeouts. You got to
Yeah.
actually draw the walk, get the hit, which is going to be difficult for them, especially when he's on and he's locating his
I think
off
batters this season are hitting 211 against him.
Yeah.
Is the number. So
Yeah,
you got to get
that
on
number's
base.
probably inflated from the early portion of the
Right,
season as he
right.
was still finding out who he was
Yeah.
as a SEC pitcher at LSU.
Your expectations on the lineup tonight for LSU?
Yeah,
Still my question.
I think it'll be similar to what we've seen. So what was it last game? Pearson led off, right?
Yep.
Pearson, Fry, Jones, Milam,
Okay.
and then I think
Hernandez, Dickinson.
Hernandez, Curiel, Dickinson,
Dickinson,
Stanfield, Braswell.
Okay. I think they're going to move Jones back a little bit. I'm pretty sure they did that against Little Rock. Is they put him like in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, he
if I'm
drops
not
about
mistaken,
fifth.
or so.
Fifth, I think that's where I put him in the lineup as well.
I think Jake Brown's going to get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Stump's a righty, and I think Jake's just too good to keep on the bench in this game. Pearson did play pretty well, I feel like, but ground outs and things like that, and it was against the lefty and Zach Ruth.
He did his job.
He did.
Yes.
He did. So I think they'll go with JB in this game instead of Pearson. Though at any point in time they could do the pinch hitting and stuff like that. What else?
So Curiel back to the top.
Maybe so.
Because if you have Brown
I do
and
like
Elphick,
that.
he'll lead
Yeah,
off.
I do
it'd be
think
Curiel
they'll
to
go
the
with
top.
Curiel to lead off, and then they'll keep Fry around that middle portion. I would say. I wonder if they're going to put Reeves in at third base.
Yeah, I did bring that up.
Because Braswell has been playing so well defensively, but it's
Yep.
a righty-righty versus a righty-lefty. And I feel like Reeves is coming around defensively late in the season.
He has. He's looked a lot
So,
better. But I think that's a part of like the conversation, as we were kind of talking about it earlier, is like just the experience factor.
Yeah.
Of like having somebody rock solid at third base that's played the position, played shortstop
No
for you
doubt.
last year.
Especially with the way UCLA plays offense.
Right, like
Yes.
the quick bunt, like
Yeah.
I mean, that
Tanner Reeves came over as
5-4-3
a second baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's almost a little bit out of position. I understand the offensive part of it because he can absolutely swing it. But I think Braswell, what he does for you defensively almost
Too
saves you
valuable.
runs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Perhaps later in the game,
Yeah.
depending on how it plays out, you swap them. But I'm with you. You know, you're willing to sacrifice, and Braswell can produce offensively, certainly, but you're willing to sacrifice maybe some of those analytics for the stellar defense and the experience. Because
Just a
I
little
think this is
bit
going
of
to be a
comfortability is
defensive game.
okay sometimes.
Especially against this team, they want base runners. Like, get one on first. I would love to see another 5-4-3 double play like you
Yep.
saw twice. They make it look so
So
easy,
good.
so
God.
smooth. When Braswell fields it, Dickinson, Jones
You have
out
three
of the inning.
shortstops.
Like,
And Braz has done well with the bunting, too, and
Yes.
just kind of executing whatever his job is for the ABs. He drew that hit by pitch the other game
Yes.
against Arkansas. So I think they will go. I've just talked myself into them
Yeah.
right.
putting in Braz.
Yes.
So we figured that one out.
There we go.
Moving around, any other surprises? I don't think so. Outfield will go Stanfield, Curry, Brown, in my opinion. In terms of where they'll bat, I think Jake could potentially be towards the bottom. Maybe he goes to where Derek did
Yep.
against Arkansas because he
Okay.
takes some quality ABs, I feel like, and obviously has a little bit of pop in the bat. Stanfield, does he move back to 9? Do you put him at 8? That's an interesting question.
Dickinson, early in the lineup, later in the lineup.
I think Dickinson probably around that 4 area, like he's been most of the
Okay.
year, I feel like, around 4, 5. Milam, you could move around too. See, that's the nice thing about this lineup is that nobody can be pigeonholed to any area.
Right,
like
flexible.
They've proven that they can hit at any point and produce. So I guess we've kind of just been throwing out names and it's been a complete mix-up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what Jay says. He throws against the wall and sees what sticks.
Sees what
Oh, it's
sticks.
been sticking a lot recently.
Yeah.
So.
Andrew Messina in the chat says Curiel, Fry, Milam, Brown, Bear, Dickinson, Luis, Braswell, Stanfield.
I can get behind that.
D3M Tyga said Curiel, Brown, Fry, Milam, Jones, Dickinson, Hernandez, Braswell, Stanfield.
I don't think Brown would hit 2. I think Brown's more of a middle
Mm-hmm.
lineup guy.
Because you're trying to eliminate like the, as much as I say this, like the swing and miss aspect of it, to where everybody can put the ball in play. Jake Brown does a great job putting the ball in play.
Yeah.
But you also he's got that gap to gap power and the speed that he presents on the base pass. Like he's a guy that you want probably like 5 to 7.
Yeah.
In that spot where it's like an absolute threat. Because when he's swinging it well and it's against the righty, like he's a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still of a contingency. I'm only listening to Jared Mitchell, who knows far more about baseball than I ever will. Like, he's forgotten more than I can remember. Like, he loves the stack of Fry, Jones, Fry. Just of the, like, we referenced it as, like, the Big Papi, Manny Ramirez. Like, where you have to go back to back. You're like, Jesus Christ, there's not a break. Like, I can't pitch around this guy to get to that guy.
Okay.
And you've seen that happen. Like, I guess what? They intentionally walked to get to Bear a couple times. But still, he's a looming
I mean,
presence.
that's one team that's done that
Right.
all year. It was just Little Rock.
Right.
It was the only team you saw intentionally walk Curiel to get to
And
Bear.
that's a team that was obviously very well coached and trying to find a strategy, just like how could we find an advantage or do something that they haven't seen before.
Somehow, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I like that. So maybe they go Fry Jones. I don't think Jones would hit in front of Fry.
No.
No, definitely not. No,
Because I think Fry's has been proven to give you more contact. But I'm telling you, like, that Bear is this close. Like,
Yes.
I know 0 for 5 with 5
feel it.
looks terrible. But he's one swing from, like, when he gets going, he's such a mercurial player of, like, it takes one swing, and then he's 3 for 5 with 2 homers. Or he's 0 for 5 with 5. Like, that happens, but I don't think it bothers him that much. Like, obviously, you saw the extra work. Great video by you. But, like, that kind of stuff is just to get through it, and then to have the perspective to see Jay, like, shrink the game for you a little bit. Like, decompress it. It's not, like, baseball is a hard game, but we don't have to take it this seriously. Like, just kind of put it all, like, look for one pitch in one spot, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, he understands, the importance of having Jared hitting. And,
Yeah.
And being a player on this team on both sides of the plate for them to win the national championship. Like, he's going to have to come up with some big moments and big swings for
And
them
he'll be on them
to get these last 4 wins. So he understands that. Bear knows that's his role, and he's too good of a player to go through such a lull here. So at some point it's gonna
pop.
really break open, and it could be Monday night here.
Yep.
No better time.
Fonz said Curiel, Fry, Milam, Dickinson, Jones, Poppy, Brown, Braswell, Stanny. So
I believe you said Curiel, Fry, Milam, Dick, Jones, Poppy,
that's
Brown,
more
Razzie,
correct.
Stanny.
But that'll be it for this morning. We've hit about 9 o'clock. Gonna get on the get to work here in Omaha. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Nice setup,
of
you
course.
got here.
Thank you very much.
Reminds
Shout
me
out
of my room when I'm streaming with the Xbox.
There you go.
Wires
We did that
everywhere.
earlier. If you want to get on some
Yep.
top spin.
Just get it done.
Shout out to the Party Box, our guys, being quiet this morning, allowing us to take over. And once again, shout out to Go Mart, Wardo's in Natchez, Mississippi for all of our Omaha coverage, and then our daily sponsors, AJ Sports Card, CAS Roofing and Advising, Range Fit, all about inflatables. We will be back after the game tonight, LSU versus UCLA. We will have a
sweaty Lloyd.
We will have a post-game review after the game, so we'll see you then. Thank you all for tuning in, and
Super chat for tickets.
Super chat for tickets.
You're gonna need a lot of super chats.
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers.
Yes. Well done, boys. That was fun.
Woo! That was good. That was good.
Good show, everybody.
Yes. Great job.
Just turn off the master audio thing.
I'm just gonna end the stream.
Love you, boys. 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 Love you, boys.
There we go.
And girls.
Tingle and Co.